I'm Jasmine Reyes, 28 years old. Until 3 months ago, I believed that loving your family meant sacrificing everything for them, no questions asked. Then, my parents handed the deed of the house I bought them to my older brother, Marcus, and everything I thought I knew about family loyalty crumbled.
I'm Jasmine Reyes.
The betrayal hit me like a physical blow.
Until 3 months ago, I believed that loving your family meant sacrificing everything for them,
needed it
no
more.
questions asked.
My mother's words
Then
still
my
echo
parents
in my
handed
mind.
the deed of the house
Mija,
I
you're
bought
strong
them to
enough
my
to
older
start
brother,
over.
Marcus. Marcus
And
isn't.
everything I thought I knew about
What they
family
didn't.
loyalty.
I'm Jasmine
Know
Reyes.
was that I had been working 80-hour weeks
until 3
for
months
3
ago.
years.
I believed that
living
loving
on
your
ramen
family
and
meant
sleeping on
sacrificing
friends'
everything
couches
for
to
them,
save every penny
no questions
for that
asked.
house.
Then
I had
my parents
sacrificed my
handed the
20s,
deed of the
my
house
social
I bought
life,
them
and my
to my
mental
older
health
brother,
to give them
Marcus,
something
I never
and
had
everything
growing
I
up
thought I knew
security.
about family
But
loyalty.
somehow
my
I'm
brother's
Jasmine Reyes,
needs always
28
came
years
first.
old.
How
Until
do you
3 months
rebuild your
ago,
life
I
when the
believed that
people
loving
who
your
raised you to
family
be
meant
selfless
sacrificing
use that
everything
very
for them,
quality to
no
break your
questions
heart?
asked.
Before
Then
we jump
my
back in,
parents
tell us
handed the
where
deed
you're
of the
tuning in
house I
from.
bought them
And
to
if
my
this
older
story
brother,
touches you,
Marcus.
make sure
And
you're
everything I thought
subscribed
I knew
because
about
tomorrow
family
loyalty.
I've saved
I'm
something
Jasmine
extra
Reyes,
special
28
for
years
you.
old. The ranch house
Until
on
3
Maple
months
Street
ago,
wasn't
I
much to
believed
look
that
at.
loving
From
your
the
family meant
outside
sacrificing
beige
everything
stucco,
for
red
them,
tile roof,
no
a
questions
small
asked.
front yard that my
Then
dad
my
immediately
parents
started
handed the
planning
deed
to
of the house I
transform
bought
into
them
a
to my
vegetable
older
garden.
brother, Marcus.
But when I handed
everything
my
I thought
parents
I
those
knew
keys
about
6
family
months
loyalty,
ago, watching my
Jasmine
mother's
Reyes,
face light
28
up
years
as
old.
she stepped through the front
Until 3
door for
months
the first
ago,
time,
I believed that
I knew
loving your
every
family meant
sacrifice had been
sacrificing
worth it.
everything for them,
Mia, it's
no questions
perfect,
asked.
she had whispered,
Then my
running
parents
her
handed the deed of the
fingers
house
along
I
the
bought
kitchen
them
counters
to my older
like
brother,
she
Marcus.
couldn't believe they were real. And everything I thought I knew
My
about
father
family
stood
loyalty
quietly in the doorway.
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
But I
28
saw him wipe
years
his
old.
eyes
when he thought I wasn't
Until 3
looking.
months ago, I
This
believed
was
that
the
loving
moment
your
I'd
family
been
meant
working
sacrificing
towards
everything
since
for them.
I was 15
no
and watched
questions
them lose our
asked.
childhood home
Then
to medical
my
debt
parents
after
handed
my
the deed
father's
of the
heart
house
attack.
I bought them
Growing
to my
up,
older brother,
we
Marcus.
moved 6 times
and
in
everything
10
I
years.
thought I knew about family
Always chasing
loyalty.
cheaper
I'm
rent,
Jasmine Reyes,
always one
28
emergency.
years old.
Away
Until
from
3
eviction.
months ago, I
I
believed that
remember
loving your
packing our
family meant
belongings in trash
sacrificing
bags.
everything for them.
My mother
no
trying to make it
questions asked.
sound like an adventure
Then
while
my
my father
parents handed
stared
the
at
deed of the
unpaid
house
bills
I bought them to
spread
my
across
older
whatever
brother,
kitchen
Marcus.
table we'd managed to keep.
And
everything I thought I knew
Marcus,
about family loyalty.
5 years
I'm
older
Jasmine
than me,
Reyes, 28
would
years
disappear
old.
during these moves.
Until 3 months
Climbing
ago,
band
I
practice
believed
or
that
hanging
loving
out
your
with
family
friends,
meant
leaving me to
sacrificing
help with
everything
boxes
for them,
and
comfort our
no
parents.
questions asked.
Even then,
Then
I understood
my
the
parents
unspoken
handed
rule.
the deed of the house
Marcus
I
was
bought
the
them
dreamer,
to my older
the
brother,
artist,
Marcus,
the one who needed protecting.
and
everything I thought I knew about
I was the
family
responsible
loyalty.
one,
I'm
the
Jasmine
one who could
Reyes,
handle
28
anything.
years old. When teachers
Until
called
3
home
months
about
ago,
his
I
absences,
believed that loving your family
I'd answer the
meant
phone and make
sacrificing everything
excuses
for them.
When
No
he needed
questions
money
asked.
for new guitar strings
Then
or recording
my parents
sessions,
handed the deed of
I'd
the
quietly
house I
slide in
bought them
cash
to my
from
older brother,
my
Marcus.
part-time job at the
And everything
grocery
I
store.
thought I knew
The
about
pattern
family
continued
loyalty.
through high school.
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
While
28
Marcus
years
floated
old.
between community
Until
college
3 months
classes
ago,
and
I
various
believed
band
that loving your
configurations,
family meant
I
sacrificing
studied
everything
obsessively,
for them.
applied for
No
every
questions
scholarship I
asked.
could find and
Then
worked.
my parents
20
handed
hours
the
a
deed
week
of the
to help
house
with
I bought
household
them to
expenses.
my older brother, Marcus.
When I got accepted to UC
and everything
Davis
I thought I knew
with
about
a
family
partial
loyalty.
scholarship,
I'm Jasmine
my parents
Reyes,
were proud, but I could see the worry in their eyes.
Until 3 months ago,
How would they manage
I
without
believed
my
that loving your
contribution to
family
the
meant
bills?
sacrificing everything
I chose to
for
live
them.
at home and
No
commute the
questions
45
asked.
minutes.
Then
Each
my
way to
parents
save
handed
money.
the deed of the house
My
I
dorm
bought them
dwelling
to my older
classmates
brother,
complained about
Marcus.
cafeteria food
And
and
everything
noisy
I thought I knew
roommates
about
while I
family
studied
loyalty.
between shifts
I'm
at 3
Jasmine
different
Reyes,
part-time
28
jobs
years
tutoring.
old.
Web
Until
design
3
and
months
weekend
ago,
catering
I
gigs.
believed that loving your
I
family
missed
meant
parties,
sacrificing
study
everything
groups,
for them.
and the entire
No
college
questions
social
asked.
experience.
Then
But every
my
dollar
parents
I
handed
earned
the
felt
deed
like
of the house I
progress
bought
towards
them to
something
my older
bigger.
brother, Marcus.
After graduation,
and
I
everything
threw
I thought I
myself
knew
into
about
the tech
family
startup
loyalty.
world.
I'm
Taking
Jasmine
on
Reyes,
freelance
28
UX
years
design
old.
projects while
Until
working
3 months
full-time
ago,
at a
I
small
believed that
software
loving your
company.
family meant
8-hour
sacrificing
days
everything
became
for them.
normal.
No
I'd
questions
fall asleep
asked.
at my computer,
Then
wake
my
up with
parents
keyboard
handed
marks
the
on
deed
my
of the
face,
house I
and
bought
keep
them to my
working.
older brother Marcus.
My coworkers thought I was
and everything I thought I knew about
motivated.
family loyalty.
What
I'm
they
Jasmine
didn't know
Reyes,
was that
28
every
years
extra
old.
dollar went straight
Until
to
3
my
months ago, I
parents'
believed that
rent,
loving your family
utilities,
meant
and my father's
sacrificing
medication.
everything for them.
Marcus, meanwhile,
no questions asked,
had found his rhythm as
then
the family's
my parents
beautiful
handed
disaster.
the deed of the house I
His
bought
band
them to
showed
my older
promise
brother
for a while.
Marcus.
They even had a few
and everything
paid
I thought
gigs
I knew
around
about
Sacramento.
family loyalty But
I'm
something
Jasmine
always
Reyes,
went
28
wrong.
years old.
A bandmate
Until
would
3
quit.
months ago,
A
I
venue would
believed that
cancel,
loving your family
or
meant
Marcus would disappear
sacrificing
for
everything
days,
for them,
lost
no
in whatever
questions
substance
asked.
was helping him.
Then my parents
Cope with his
handed the deed of
anxiety.
the house I bought
Each
them to my
crisis
older
brought him
brother
back to our
Marcus,
parents' apartment,
and everything
where
I
he'd
thought
sleep
I
on
knew
the
about
couch and
family
promise
loyalty
things would be
I'm
different
Jasmine
this time.
Reyes,
That my
28
mother would
years
fuss
old.
over him,
Until 3
making
months
his
ago,
favorite
I believed
foods
that
and doing
loving
his
your
laundry.
family meant
My
sacrificing
father would
everything
slip
for
him
them,
$20
no
bills
questions asked.
and lecture me privately
Then
about
my
being
parents
patient with my
handed
brother.
the deed of the house I
Be
bought
sensitive,
them to
Mija.
my older
Not
brother
everyone is
Marcus,
as strong as you.
and everything I thought
The
I
words
knew
were
about
meant
family
as a
loyalty.
compliment,
I'm
but
Jasmine
they felt like
Reyes,
a burden
28
I
years
couldn't
old.
put
Until
down.
3 months ago,
When I
I
turned
believed that
25,
loving your
I had
family
saved
meant
enough for a down
sacrificing
payment
everything
on a
for
small
them,
house.
no questions
For about a
asked.
week,
Then
I
my
imagined
parents
what it would
handed
be
the
like
deed
to
of the
have
house
my
I
own
bought them
space,
to my older
to
brother
decorate
Marcus,
walls that belonged to me,
and everything I thought
to
I
host
knew about
friends for
family
dinner,
loyalty.
to wake up
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
without
28
immediately
years old.
calculating how many
Until 3
billable
months
hours
ago,
I needed
I
to
believed
complete
that
that
loving your
day.
family meant
But
sacrificing
every time I
everything for
looked at
them,
online listings,
no questions asked.
I thought about my parents
Then
still
my parents
struggling with
handed the
rent,
deed of the house
still
I
choosing
bought them
between
to my older
groceries
brother
and
Marcus.
prescriptions. The
And everything
decision
I
to
thought
buy
I
them a
knew
house
about family
instead
loyalty.
wasn't
I'm
really a
Jasmine
decision
Reyes,
at all.
28 years old.
It was the only choice.
Until 3 months ago,
That
I
felt
believed
right,
that loving
even
your
as it meant
family meant
delaying my own
sacrificing
independence
everything
for another
them,
few years.
no questions asked.
I found the Maple Street
Then
house
my
through a
parents
client
handed the
whose
deed of the
elderly
house I
parents were
bought
moving
them
to
to my older
assisted
brother
living.
Marcus.
It wasn't
And everything
perfect.
I thought
The
I
carpet
knew
was
about family
dated.
loyalty.
The kitchen
I'm
needed
Jasmine
updating.
Reyes, 28
And the
years
second
old.
bedroom was barely
Until
large
3
enough
months
for a
ago,
bed.
I believed
But
that
it had
loving
good
your
bones.
family meant
And
sacrificing everything
most
for them,
importantly, it was
no
affordable.
questions
The
asked.
paperwork took
Then
months.
my parents
I had to
handed the
provide
deed of
3
the
years of
house I
tax
bought them
returns,
to my
bank
older brother
statements, and
Marcus.
proof of income.
And everything I thought I knew
Since
about
I
family
worked
loyalty.
primarily
I'm
as
Jasmine
a
Reyes,
freelancer,
28 years
getting
old.
approved for the mortgage
Until 3
required
months
jumping
ago,
through
I
extra
believed that
hoops,
loving your family
providing
meant
client
sacrificing
contracts,
everything
and
for
maintaining
them,
a spotless
no
credit
questions
score I'd been
asked.
building since I
Then
was 18.
my parents handed the
Every
deed of the
form I
house I
signed
bought them to my
felt
older
like a
brother
promise
Marcus.
to my younger self,
And everything
a
I
girl
thought
who
I knew
cried
about
herself to
family
sleep in
loyalty.
so
I'm
many
Jasmine Reyes,
temporary
28 years
bedrooms
old.
that our family would
Until
finally
3
have
months
roots.
ago, I
Moving
believed that
day was
loving your
chaos.
family meant sacrificing
Marcus showed up
everything for
3
them,
hours late with
no
a hangover
questions
and a
asked.
half-hearted apology.
Then my
But
parents
even he
handed the
seemed
deed of the house
genuinely
I bought
excited
them
about
to
the
my older
house.
brother Marcus.
He immediately
And
claimed
everything
the
I thought I
larger
knew
bedroom.
about family loyalty.
For my equipment,
I'm Jasmine
he
Reyes,
explained
28
while my
years old.
parents took the smaller
Until 3
one.
months ago,
I
I
didn't
believed that
mind.
loving your
I
family
was
meant
staying in my cramped
sacrificing
studio
everything
apartment
for
across
them,
town anyway,
no questions asked.
still working constantly
Then
to
my
afford the
parents
mortgage
handed the deed
payments.
of the house
For
I
the
bought
first few
them to my
months,
older brother
Sunday
Marcus.
dinners at the new house
And everything
felt
I
like
thought
a
I
dream.
knew about family
My
loyalty.
father planted
I'm
tomatoes
Jasmine
and
Reyes,
peppers
28
in the
years old.
backyard.
Until 3
My
months
mother
ago,
set up
I
her
believed
sewing
that
machine
loving
in
your
the
family
living room
meant
and started
sacrificing
quilting
everything
again
for
for the
them,
first time
no
in years.
questions asked.
Marcus
Then
actually
my
seemed to be getting
parents
his life
handed the deed
together.
of the house
He found
I
a
bought
part-time
them to my
job at a
older
music
brother
store and
Marcus.
talked about recording
And everything I thought I knew
an
about
album.
family loyalty.
I'd arrive
I'm
exhausted
Jasmine
from
Reyes,
60-hour
28
work
years
weeks.
old.
But seeing
Until
my
3 months
parents
ago,
happy in
I
their own
believed that
space
loving your
recharged
family
me
meant
completely.
sacrificing everything
This
for
was
them,
what I'd
no
worked for,
questions
not just
asked.
a house,
Then
but the
my
security
parents
and
handed the
dignity
deed
that
of the
came
house
with
I
it.
bought them to
My
my
mother
older
would
brother
show me
Marcus.
every small
And
improvement
everything
they
I thought
made.
I knew about
Every
family
plant my
loyalty.
father had
I'm Jasmine
successfully
Reyes,
grown.
28 years old.
These moments
Until
made
3 months
every
ago,
sacrifice
I
feel
believed that loving your family
meaningful,
meant
but
sacrificing
there were
everything for
signs I
them,
chose to
no
ignore.
questions asked.
The way my parents'
Then
conversations
my parents
stopped
handed
when I
the deed
entered
of the
rooms.
house I bought them
How
to my
Marcus
older
had begun
brother
talking
Marcus.
about his house
And everything I thought
and
I
making
knew about
long-term
family
plans for
loyalty.
renovations.
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
The way my
28
mother
years
would
old.
mention how much more
Until 3
stable
months
Marcus
ago,
seemed
I
now
believed
that
that
he
loving your
had
family
his
meant
own space.
sacrificing everything
I
for
told
them,
myself these were
no
just
questions
words
asked.
that they were.
Then my parents
Happy,
handed the
and
deed of the
that
house
was
I
what
bought them
mattered.
to my
I
older
should
brother
pay closer
Marcus.
attention to the legal
And everything I
details.
thought
thought I knew about
When I
family
bought the
loyalty.
house,
I'm Jasmine
my
Reyes,
parents
28 years
insisted on
old.
being added to the
Until
deed
3 months ago,
immediately.
I believed
For
that
estate
loving your
planning
family meant
purposes.
sacrificing
My father
everything
had
for
said,
them.
I
No
trusted
questions
them.
asked.
Completely,
Then my parents
never
handed the deed
imagining
of the
they would
house I
see my
bought them
gift
to
as
my
something
older
they
brother
could
Marcus.
redistribute.
And
The
everything I
house was
thought I
always
knew
meant
about
to be
family
theirs.
loyalty.
But
I'm Jasmine
somehow in
Reyes,
my
28
mind,
years
it was
old.
also proof of my love.
Until 3 months ago,
my
I
sacrifice,
believed that loving
my
your
place in the
family
family.
meant
3
sacrificing
months
everything for
after they
them.
moved in,
No questions
everything
asked.
changed during what should have
Then
been a
my
celebration.
parents handed the deed of
I
the
had
house
just
I bought
landed.
them to my older
My
brother Marcus.
biggest client, yet a
And
contract
everything I
with a
thought I
major
knew
tech
about
company
family
that would
loyalty.
finally give
I'm
me
Jasmine
some
Reyes,
financial
28
breathing room.
years old. I
Until
couldn't
3
wait to
months
share the
ago,
news
I
over
believed
Sunday
that
dinner.
loving your family
Maybe
meant
even talk about
sacrificing
taking a
everything
real
for them.
vacation for the
No
first time in
questions
years.
asked.
I brought
Then
champagne
my
and my
parents
mother's
handed the deed of the
favorite
house I
flowers.
bought them to
ready
my
to
older
toast
brother
what felt like the
Marcus.
beginning of a
And
new
everything
chapter.
I thought I knew about family
Instead,
loyalty.
I found
I'm
legal
Jasmine
documents
Reyes,
spread
28
across
years
the
old.
kitchen table and learned
Until
that my
3
role
months
in this
ago,
family
I
was
believed that loving your
nothing like
family
what
meant
I believed
sacrificing
it to
everything
be.
for them.
The champagne
No
bottle
questions
sat
asked.
unopened on the kitchen
Then
counter.
my parents handed the
Condensation
deed of the
forming
house
around
I
its
bought
neck.
them to my older
Like
brother
tears
Marcus.
I refused to shed.
And everything I thought I knew
I brought
about
it to
family
celebrate my
loyalty.
new contract
I'm Jasmine
with Davidson
Reyes,
Tech,
28 years
the biggest
old.
client I'd ever
Until
landed.
3 months ago,
Worth
I
more
believed
than I'd
that
made
loving
in the
your family
previous
meant
6 months
sacrificing
combined.
everything for them.
Instead, I stared
No
at legal
questions
documents
asked.
that made my stomach
Then
turn.
my parents handed the deed of
already
the house I bought
done,
them to my
Mija,
older brother
my mother
Marcus.
said, her voice
And everything
gentle
I
but
thought
firm.
I knew about family
We signed the
loyalty.
papers yesterday.
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
The
28
deed
years
transfer
old.
documents were
Until
spread
3
across
months
the
ago,
same
I
kitchen
believed that
table
loving
where
your
we'd shared
family
so
meant
many Sunday
sacrificing
dinners,
everything for
where I'd
them.
helped my
No
father with
questions
job
asked.
applications.
Then
where
my
my mother
parents
had taught
handed
me
the
to
deed
fold
of the house I
empanadas.
bought them to my older
Now
brother
those familiar
Marcus.
surroundings
And everything I
felt
thought I knew
foreign,
about
like
family
I was
loyalty.
looking at someone
I'm
else's
Jasmine
life
Reyes,
through a
28
window.
years old. Until
don't
3 months ago,
understand,
I believed that
said,
loving your
though I
family
understood
meant
perfectly.
sacrificing everything for
My
them.
name had been removed
No
from the
questions
deed
asked.
entirely.
Then
Marcus
my parents
Reyes was
handed
now
the
the
deed of
sole
the house
owner
I
of the
bought
house
them
I
to
had
my
bought,
older brother
saved
Marcus.
for, sacrificed
And everything I
everything
thought I
to
knew
afford.
about family loyalty.
Why didn't you
I'm
talk
Jasmine
to me
Reyes,
first?
28 years old.
My father shifted
Until 3 months
uncomfortably in his
ago,
chair.
I believed that
The
loving
same
your
way he
family
used
meant
to when bill
sacrificing
collectors
everything
called.
for them.
Marcus
No
needs
questions
stability,
asked.
Mija.
Then
You're
my
doing so
parents
well
handed
with
the
your
deed of the
career,
house
and
I bought them to my
he's
older brother
struggling.
Marcus.
Struggling.
And everything I thought
The
I knew
word
about
came out
family
sharper
loyalty.
than I intended.
I'm Jasmine Reyes, 28
Marcus had been
years old.
struggling for the past 15
Until 3 months
years.
ago, I
And somehow
believed
his
that loving your
struggles always
family
became
meant
my
sacrificing
responsibility.
everything for them.
Dad,
No questions
I've been
asked.
struggling too.
Then my
I've been
parents
working
handed
myself
the
to
deed of the
death to
house
pay
I
for
bought
this
them
house.
to my older brother
We
Marcus.
know, sweetie.
And everything
we're
I thought I
so
knew about
grateful.
family loyalty.
My mother
I'm Jasmine
interrupted,
Reyes,
reaching
28
across the
years
table
old.
to touch my hand.
Until 3 months ago,
I pulled it
believed
away,
that
the
loving your
first
family
time I'd
meant
ever
sacrificing
rejected her
everything for
affection.
them. No
But
questions
you don't
asked.
understand what it's
Then
like for
my
Marcus,
parents handed
living
the deed
without
of the house I bought
his
them
own
to my older
space,
brother
feeling
Marcus.
like a failure.
And everything I thought
Marcus
I knew
himself
about
wasn't
family
even there
loyalty.
for this
I'm Jasmine
conversation.
Reyes, 28
He'd
years
moved his
old.
recording equipment
Until
into the
3 months
larger
ago,
bedroom
I
and was
believed
at
that
the
loving your
music store,
family meant
probably
sacrificing
telling his
everything for
coworkers
them.
about his new
No
house,
questions asked.
his fresh start,
Then
his
my
supportive
parents
family.
handed the deed of the
Meanwhile,
house I
I
bought
sat in my
them to my
parents'
older
kitchen,
brother
his
Marcus.
kitchen outline,
And everything
to
I thought I
process the
knew about
magnitude
family
of their
loyalty.
betrayal.
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
I've been living
28
without
years
my own
old.
space too.
Until
I
3
said
months
quietly.
ago, I believed that
I've been
loving
in
your
that
family
studio
meant
apartment for 5
sacrificing
years
everything
because
for them.
every extra
No
dollar
questions
went to this
asked.
house.
Then
I
my
haven't taken a
parents handed the
vacation. I
deed of the
haven't
house
bought
I
new
bought them
clothes.
to my older
I
brother
eat
Marcus.
the same 3 meals
And
every
everything I
week
thought I
because
knew about
everything
family
else
loyalty.
goes to the mortgage.
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
My
28
mother's
years
face
old.
softened with what
Until
looked
3
like
months
pity,
ago, I
which
believed that
somehow
loving
hurt
your
worse
family
than
meant
anger would
sacrificing
have.
everything for
But
them.
you chose
No
that,
questions
Mija.
asked.
You're strong.
Then my
You can
parents
build
handed
a
the deed
life
of the house I
anywhere.
bought them
Marcus,
to my older brother
he
Marcus.
needs this house to
And
feel
everything
like
I
he
thought I
has
knew
value.
about family loyalty.
The logic
I'm
was
Jasmine
so
Reyes,
twisted it
28
took
years
my
old.
breath away.
Until 3
I had
months
worked
ago,
myself
I
to
believed that
exhaustion
loving
to
your
provide
family meant
security for people I
sacrificing everything
loved.
for them.
And now the
No
sacrifice
questions
was being
asked.
used as
Then
evidence that
my
I didn't
parents
need their
handed the deed of the
consideration.
house I bought them
Because
to my older
I was
brother
strong
Marcus.
enough to handle
And
disappointment.
everything I thought I knew
wasn't
about
worth
family
protecting.
loyalty. I'm Jasmine
it.
Reyes, 28
When did you
years
decide
old.
this?
Until 3
I
months
asked out
ago,
my
I
parents,
believed that
exchanged a
loving your
look.
family
I'd
meant
seen countless
sacrificing
times
everything
before
for
the
them.
same expression they'd
questions
worn when
asked.
discussing Marcus's
Then
latest
my
crisis.
parents handed the
His
deed of the
need for
house
money,
I bought them
his
to my
struggle
older
with
brother
depression,
Marcus.
his broken
And
promises.
everything I thought I knew about
to get
family
clean or
loyalty.
find steady
I'm
work.
Jasmine Reyes, 28
A few
years
weeks
old.
ago,
Until
my
3
father
months
admitted,
ago, I believed
Marcus
that loving
came
your to us really sacrificing everything for them.
He said he felt like he was living in charity, like he'd never accomplished anything real.
The deed of the house
I bought them to my older brother,
hurting
Marcus,
himself, Mija, and everything I
the
thought I knew
emotional
about
manipulation.
family loyalty.
I'm Jasmine Reyes, 28 years old.
Laughed. Until
How
3
many
months
times
ago,
had Marcus's
I believed that loving your family meant
threats
sacrificing
derailed
everything for them,
about
no
consequences.
questions asked. How many times
Then
had
my
his mental
parents
health
handed
been
the deed
used
of
to
the house I
justify
bought
giving
them to
him
my
whatever
older
he
brother,
wanted while
Marcus,
expecting me
and
to be
everything I
grateful
thought I knew
for
about
whatever was
family
left?
loyalty?
I'm
So you
Jasmine
gave him
Reyes,
my
28
house,
years old,
I said.
Until
It's
3 months
not
ago,
your
I
house,
believed that
my
loving
mother
your
said,
family meant
and for the first
sacrificing
time,
everything for them.
there was an edge
No
to her
questions
voice.
asked.
It was our
Then
house.
my parents
You
handed
bought
the
it for
deed of
us,
the house. I
remember?
bought them to
You
my
said it was a
older brother,
gift.
Marcus.
She was right,
And everything I
technically.
thought I knew about
I
family
had
loyalty.
gifted them the house.
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
Had their
28
names
years
put on
old.
the deed.
Until 3
Had
months
told them it
ago,
was
I
theirs to
believed that
enjoy
loving
in
your
their
family meant sacrificing
retirement.
everything for them.
But I'd never
No
imagined
questions
they would
asked.
see my generosity
Then
as a
my
blank
parents
check
handed
to
the deed of
redistribute
the
my
house. I
sacrifice
bought them to my
to
older
whoever
brother,
needed it
Marcus.
most at any given moment.
And everything I thought I knew
Did you
about
tell
family
Marcus how much I
loyalty.
paid toward
I'm
the
Jasmine
mortgage?
Reyes, 28 years
I asked.
old.
Did you
Until 3 months
explain that
ago, I believed that
been
loving
covering
your family
payments,
meant
insurance,
sacrificing
property
everything
taxes,
for them.
maintenance
No
costs
questions
for the
asked.
past 6 months?
Then my
Another
parents
exchange
handed the
look.
deed of the house. I
Of course
bought
they
them to my
hadn't.
older brother, Marcus.
In their narrative,
and
Marcus
everything
was
I
the
thought I knew
fragile
about
son
family
who needed
loyalty.
protecting.
I'm Jasmine
And I was the
Reyes,
competent
28
daughter
years
who could
old.
handle anything.
Until 3 months
The
ago,
actual
I believed
details
that
of
loving
how
your
our
family
family
meant
functioned,
sacrificing everything
who
for
paid
them.
for what,
No
who
questions
sacrificed
asked.
what, who
Then
kept
my
everything
parents
running,
handed the
were
deed of the house.
inconvenient
I
to that
bought them
story.
to my older brother,
He'll
Marcus.
take over the payments now.
And everything I
my
thought I
father
knew
said,
about family loyalty.
though his voice
I'm
lacked
Jasmine
conviction.
Reyes, 28 years
He's
old.
going to get a second
Until
job.
3 months ago, I
Marcus
believed
had
that
been
loving your
promising to get a
family meant
second job for
sacrificing
3
everything for
years.
them.
He'd
No
also
questions
promised
asked.
to finish community
Then
college.
my
to get
parents
clean,
handed the deed of the
to
house.
pay back
I
the money
bought
he
them to
borrowed
my
from our
older
parents'
brother,
savings
Marcus.
account to help
And
with their
everything I
medical
thought
bills.
I knew about family loyalty.
The promises were
I'm
always
Jasmine
sincere,
Reyes, 28
and
years
they were
old.
always broken when
Until 3
something
months
better
ago,
or easier
I
came
believed that
along.
loving your family
And
meant
if he can't make the
sacrificing everything
payments,
for them.
I asked
No
out
questions
silence.
asked.
We all knew the
Then
answer.
my parents handed
Marcus
the
would
deed of the
struggle for a
house.
few
I bought
months,
them
maybe
to my
get
older
behind.
brother, Marcus.
On the mortgage
And
everything
everything
I thought I knew about family loyalty.
I'm Jasmine
I'd be
Reyes,
expected
28
to swoop
years
in
old.
and save the house
Until
again.
3 months ago,
But
I
now,
believed
without
that
any
loving your
legal
family
claim to
meant
it,
sacrificing
purely out of
everything
family
for
obligation.
them. No
He
questions
will,
asked.
my mother insisted.
Then my parents
Having
handed the deed of the
ownership will
house.
motivate
I bought
him.
them to my older
It's
brother,
different when you're
Marcus.
responsible for something.
And everything I thought I knew
I
about
thought about
family
all
loyalty.
the things I've
I'm
been
Jasmine
responsible
Reyes,
for
28
over
years
the
old.
years, their rent,
Until 3
their
months
utilities,
ago, I
their
believed that
emergencies,
loving your
their
family
peace of
meant
mind.
sacrificing everything
I thought
for
about the
them.
motivating power of
questions
responsibility.
And
And how
then
it
my
shaped every
parents
decision
handed
I
the deed
made
of the
since I was
house. I bought them
15
to my
years
older
old.
brother, Marcus.
Apparently, that kind of
And everything I
motivation
thought I
was
knew about
reserved for
family
daughters.
loyalty. I'm
I need to
Jasmine
go,
Reyes, 28
I
years
said,
old.
standing up
Until
from the
3
table.
months ago, I
But
believed that loving your
we
family
haven't
meant
even
sacrificing
eaten yet,
everything
my mother
for them.
protested.
No questions
I
asked.
made your favorite.
Then my
I'm not
parents
hungry.
handed the deed of the house.
I walked
bought
toward
them
the
to
front
my
door,
older brother,
past
Marcus.
the living room where my mother's
everything I thought
quilting
I knew about
supplies were
family
scattered
loyalty.
across the couch.
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
past the
28 years
kitchen where
old.
my father's medications
Until 3 months ago,
lined the
I believed
windowsill,
that loving your
past
family
the hallway
meant
leading to
sacrificing
bedrooms that
everything
now
for them.
belonged
No questions
entirely
asked.
to Marcus.
Then my parents
Every inch of
handed
this
the deed
house
of the house.
represented
I bought
hours of
them
my
to
life
my
I
older
never
brother,
get
Marcus.
back. Dreams
And everything
I
I thought I
deferred,
knew about family
experiences I'd
loyalty.
missed.
I'm Jasmine
Jasmine,
Reyes, 28
wait,
years old.
my father called.
Until 3 months ago,
Don't leave
I
angry.
believed that loving your
I
family
turned
meant
back to look at them,
sacrificing
my
everything
parents
for
sitting
them.
at their kitchen
No
table,
questions asked.
surrounded by legal
Then
documents
my
that had
parents
just rewritten
handed the
our
deed of
family
the house.
story.
I bought them to
They
my
looked
older
small
brother,
and
Marcus.
worried, the way they
And everything I
always
thought I
did when
knew about
Marcus was
family
having a
loyalty.
crisis.
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
Except
28 years old.
This time I was
Until
the
3 months
crisis.
ago, I
I'm
believed
not
that loving your
angry, I
family
said,
meant
and realized
sacrificing
it was
everything
true.
for them.
I
No
was
questions
something much
asked.
worse than angry.
Then my
I was
parents
done.
handed the deed of the
I'm
house. I
just
bought them to
finally
my older brother,
understanding.
Marcus.
Understanding
And everything I
what?
thought I knew about
My mother
family
asked.
loyalty. I'm
That
Jasmine
no
Reyes,
matter what
28
I
years
do,
old.
it will never be
Until
enough
3
to
months
make me
ago,
matter
I
as much
believed
as
that
he
loving
does.
your family meant
I left the
sacrificing
champagne on their
everything
counter
for them. No
and drove
questions
back to my
asked.
studio apartment
Then
where I sat
my
on my
parents
second-hand
handed the
couch
deed of the
and
house.
stared
I
at the
bought them
contract
to my
from
older
Davidson
brother,
Tech,
Marcus.
the biggest
And
opportunity
everything I
of my
thought I knew
career.
about family
And I had
loyalty.
no one to
I'm Jasmine
celebrate with.
Reyes, 28 years
My
old.
best friend Lena
Until
was
3
in
months
Portland
ago,
for work,
I
and
believed that
I've
loving
been
your
too
family meant
busy building a
sacrificing
life for my
everything for
family
them.
to maintain
No questions
relationships with
asked.
anyone someone else. Then,
for the
my
first
parents
time in
handed
my
the
adult
deed of the
life,
house I
I had
bought
an
them
evening
to
with
my
no
older
work to
brother
do,
Marcus,
no family crisis
and
to
everything I
solve,
thought I knew about family
no one
and loyalty.
depending on me for
I'm Jasmine
anything.
Reyes, 28
The
years
silence
old.
was deafening.
Until 3 months ago, I
believe
so
that
many
loving
years
your family
defining
meant
myself through my
sacrificing everything
usefulness
to
for
others,
them,
no
that I
questions
wasn't sure
asked.
who I was.
Then,
My
when
parents
no one
handed
needed
the
me,
deed of the house I
my
bought
phone
them to my
buzzed with
older
a
brother
text from
Marcus,
my mother.
and everything I
love
thought I
you.
knew about
Mija,
family loyalty.
I hope you
I'm
understand
Jasmine
we had to
Reyes,
do what's
28
best for
years
that.
old.
Until
family.
3 months ago, I believed that loving your family meant sacrificing everything for them.
The good bottle I'd been
No
saving
questions
for a
asked.
special occasion that
Then
would apparently
my parents
never come.
handed the deed of the house
Tomorrow,
I
I would
bought them
figure
to my
out how
older
to
brother
rebuild my
Marcus.
life.
And
Tonight,
everything I thought I
was
knew
going
about
to sit with
family
the
loyalty.
wreckage
I'm
of
Jasmine
everything I
Reyes,
believed
28
about
years
love,
old.
sacrifice,
Until 3
and
months
family
ago,
loyalty.
I believed that loving
The
your
hardest
family
part
meant
wasn't the money
sacrificing
I'd
everything
lost
for
or
them.
even the
No
legal
questions
betrayal.
asked.
It was the
Then
realization that my
handed the
parents had
deed of the
never
house I
seen
bought
me
them to my older
clearly
brother
at all.
Marcus.
In their
And everything
eyes,
I
I
thought
was
I
an
knew about
endless
family
resource.
loyalty.
I'm
Not a
Jasmine
person with
Reyes,
needs
28
and
years
dreams
old.
and limits. Until 3 months
My
ago, I
strength had
believed that
become my
loving your family
invisibility.
meant
My
sacrificing
reliability
everything
had
for
become
them.
my prison
No
dock
questions
as I
asked.
sat alone in my small
Then
apartment.
my parents
I
handed
began
the
to
deed of the
understand
house
that
I
this
bought
moment
them
was
to my
both an
older brother
ending and a
Marcus.
beginning.
And everything
The
I
life
thought
I'd
I
been
knew
living,
about
the
family
constant
loyalty.
giving, the
I'm
endless
Jasmine Reyes, 28 years
sacrifice,
old.
the assumption that
Until
my
3
needs
months
would always
ago,
come
I
last,
believed that loving your
life was
family
over.
meant sacrificing
Whatever
everything
came
for
next
them.
would have to be different.
No questions asked.
Because I
Then
finally
my
understood that
parents
no
handed
amount
the
of
deed of the
love or
house I bought them
generosity
to my older
would ever
brother
change my
Marcus.
place in this family's
And everything I thought
hierarchy.
I knew
The
about
champagne
family
would have been
loyalty.
wasted
I'm
anyway.
Jasmine Reyes,
David's
28
intact
years
contract
old.
should
Until 3
have
months
been
ago,
the beginning
I
of
believed
my
that loving your
professional
family
breakthrough,
meant
but
sacrificing
instead,
everything
it
for
became
them.
the foundation
No
for something
questions asked.
entirely different.
Then
My escape
my
plan.
parents handed the deed
I
of the
threw
house I
myself
bought
into the
them to my
project with
older
an
brother
intensity that
Marcus.
worried even my
And everything I
workaholic
thought I knew
tendencies.
about family
Coding and
loyalty.
designing
I'm
until 3 in
Jasmine
the
Reyes,
morning.
28
Then
years old.
waking up at 6
Until
to
3
respond
months
to
ago,
client
I
emails
believed that
before my
loving
day
your
job
family
started.
meant sacrificing
Lena
everything
noticed
for
the
them.
change
No questions
immediately
asked.
when she returned from
Then
Portland.
my parents handed
We
the
met
deed
for
of the house
coffee
I
at
bought
our
them
usual
to my
spot
older
near the
brother
co-working
Marcus.
space I'd been
And
renting
everything I
since
thought
my
I knew
freelance
about
business
family
took
loyalty.
off.
I'm
And she took
Jasmine
one
Reyes,
look at my
28
face
years
and
old.
ordered 2 pastries
Until 3 months
instead of
ago,
her
I
usual
believed
black
that loving your family
coffee.
meant sacrificing everything for
what
them.
happened?
No
She
questions
said,
asked.
sliding a chocolate
Then
croissant
my parents
across the
handed
table
the deed
toward
of the
me.
house I
You
bought
look
them
like
to my
someone
older brother
died.
Marcus.
I told her
And everything
everything
I
the
thought I
house,
knew
the
about
deed
family
transfer,
loyalty.
my
I'm
parents'
Jasmine
casual
Reyes,
dismissal
28
of my
years old.
sacrifices.
Until 3 months
Lena
ago,
listened
I
without
believed that loving your family meant
interrupting, her
sacrificing
expression
everything for
shifting
them.
from
No
confusion to
questions
disbelief
asked.
to the kind of
Then
righteous
my
anger
parents
I'd been
handed
too
the deed of
shocked
the
to feel
house I
myself.
bought them to my
They
older
gave
brother
away your
Marcus.
house.
And
She
everything I
said when
thought
I
I knew about
finished,
family
the
loyalty.
house you
I'm
bought
Jasmine Reyes,
with your
28
money?
years old.
Technically,
Until 3 months ago,
it was
I
their
believed
house.
that loving your
Stop.
family meant
Lena held up her
sacrificing everything
hand.
for them.
Do not
No
defend
questions
them.
asked.
Do not make
Then
excuses.
my parents
Do
handed
not
the deed of
minimize
the
what they
house I
did to
bought
you.
them to my older
This
brother
was
Marcus.
why I loved Lena.
And everything I thought
She'd
I
been
knew
my
about
roommate
family
junior
loyalty.
year when I'd
I'm
finally
Jasmine
moved
Reyes,
out of my
28
parents'
years
place.
old.
And she'd
Until
witnessed
3 months
firsthand
ago,
the
I
constant
believed that
phone
loving your
calls about
family meant
Marcus's latest
sacrificing
crisis.
everything for
The
them.
weekends I'd
No
spent
questions
working
asked.
instead of socializing.
Then my parents
The way
handed
I
the deed of
automatically
the house
reached
I
for my
bought them
wallet
to my
whenever
older
anyone
brother
in my
Marcus.
family had a problem.
And everything I thought I knew
keep
about
thinking
family
I
loyalty.
should have seen it
I'm
coming,
Jasmine
I
Reyes,
admitted.
28 years old.
All the signs were there.
Until 3 months ago,
You couldn't
I
have
believed
seen it
that
coming
loving your
because
family
it's
meant
insane,
sacrificing everything
Lena
for
said.
them. No
Normal
questions
parents
asked.
don't give away their
Then
daughter's
my
house to
parents
their
handed the
unemployed
deed of the
son
house
without
I
even
bought them to
discussing it
my
with
older
her.
brother Marcus.
The word
And
unemployed
everything
wasn't
I thought
quite
I knew
fair.
about
Marcus
family
was
loyalty.
working
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
part-time
28
at the
years
music
old.
store, but Lena
Until
had
3 months
never been
ago, I
impressed by his
believed that loving
artistic
your family
struggles.
meant sacrificing
She came
everything
from a
for
family of
them.
immigrants
No
who
questions
built a
asked.
successful
Then
restaurant from
my
nothing.
parents handed
And
the
she
deed of the
had
house
little
I bought
patience
them
for
to my
people who
older
treated
brother Marcus.
responsibility
And everything
as
I thought I knew
optional.
about family loyalty.
He's not
I'm Jasmine
unemployed,
Reyes, 28
I
years
said
old.
automatically.
Until
Then
3
caught
months
myself
ago,
defending
I
him
believed that
again.
loving your family
But I
meant
can't stop doing
sacrificing
that.
everything for them.
Doing what?
No questions
Making
asked.
excuses for him,
Then my parents
protecting
handed
him.
the deed of the house
Even
I
now,
bought them
after
to
what
my
they
older
did,
brother Marcus.
I'm still worried about
And
being
everything I
unfair
thought
to
I
Marcus.
knew about family loyalty.
Lena,
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
studied my
28
face with
years
the
old.
intensity she usually
Until 3
reserved
months
for
ago,
debugging
I I believe that loving your family meant sacrificing everything for them.
When was the
No
last time
questions
Marcus
asked.
worry about being
Then
unfair
my
to you?
parents handed the deed of the
question
house I
hung in
bought
the air
them
like
to my older brother
incense,
Marcus,
heavy and
and
unavoidable.
everything I thought I knew about
I couldn't
family
think of a
loyalty.
single example.
I'm Jasmine Reyes, 28
Even
years
when we were
old.
kids,
Until 3
Marcus
months
had
ago,
operated
I believed that loving
under
your
the
family
assumption that
meant
my time,
sacrificing
my
everything
energy,
for
and my
them.
resources
No
were
questions
available
asked.
whenever he needed them.
Then my parents
if I was doing
handed
homework
the
and
deed
he
of the
needed
house
help
I
moving
bought
his
them
amp,
to my older
I was
brother
expected
Marcus,
to drop everything.
and everything I
If
thought
I
I
had
knew about
plans and he
family
needed a
loyalty.
ride,
I'm
my
Jasmine
plans
Reyes, 28
could
years
wait.
old.
If
Until
I'd
3
saved
months
money for
ago,
something
I
special
believed that
and
loving
he
your
had an
family meant
emergency,
sacrificing
my money
everything
became
for
his
them.
money.
No
I need
questions
to
asked.
stop. I
Then
said quietly.
My parents handed the
Stop
deed of the
what?
house I
All of
bought
it.
them to my older
The
brother
money,
Marcus.
the emotional support,
And everything
the
I thought I
constant
knew
availability.
about family loyalty.
I need
I'm
to
Jasmine
stop
Reyes,
being their
28
solution.
years old.
To every
Until
problem.
3 months ago, I
Lena
believed
nodded,
that loving
but
your
I
family
could
meant
see the concern in
sacrificing
her
everything
eyes.
for them.
She
No
watched me
questions
try to set
asked.
boundaries with
Then
my family
my
before.
parents handed the
Usually
deed of the
after
house
some
I bought them
particularly
to my
dramatic
older brother
crisis
Marcus.
that left me
And
emotionally
everything I
drained
thought I
and
knew about
financially
family
depleted.
loyalty.
I'm
The
Jasmine
boundaries
Reyes,
never
never
lasted
lasted long my guilt would
Until
build
3 months
until I
ago, I
convinced
believed that
myself
loving your
one
family
small
meant
favor wouldn't
sacrificing
hurt.
everything for
And
them.
suddenly I'd be
No
back to my
questions
old
asked.
patterns.
Then
What does
my
that look
parents
like
handed the deed
practically?
of the house I
She
bought them
asked.
to my older brother
I've been
Marcus.
thinking about this for
And everything I thought I
3
knew about
sleepless
family
nights.
loyalty.
I'm
gonna
Jasmine
pay off my
Reyes,
lease
28
early
years
and
old.
find a new apartment.
Until 3 months
somewhere
ago,
they don't
I
know the
believed that
address.
loving your family meant
I'm going to change
sacrificing
my phone
everything
number
for them.
No
And
questions
I'm going to
asked.
stop giving them money.
Then my parents
Completely.
handed the deed of the
That's
house
a
I
good
bought them
start.
to my older
What
brother
about
Marcus.
emotionally? This
And everything
was
I
the
thought
harder
I knew
part.
about family loyalty.
I could control
I'm
my
Jasmine Reyes,
finances and my
28 years old.
availability. But
Until
I couldn't
3 months
stop caring
ago,
about
I
them.
believed that loving your
Even after
family
the
meant
betrayal,
sacrificing
even
everything for them.
knowing they'd chosen
no
Marcus
questions
over
asked.
me without
Then
hesitation,
my parents
I
handed
still
the
felt
deed of the
responsible
house
for
I
their
bought them
well-being.
to my older brother
I don't
Marcus.
know. I admitted.
And everything I thought
How
I
do
knew
you
about
stop
family
loving
loyalty.
people who hurt
I'm
you?
Jasmine Reyes,
You
28
don't,
years old.
Lena said gently.
Until 3 months ago,
But you
I
can love
believed that
them from
loving
a
your family
distance.
meant sacrificing
You can want
everything
good
for
things
them.
for them
No
without
questions
sacrificing
asked.
yourself to make
Then
those things
my
happen.
parents handed the deed
The
of the
concept
house I
felt
bought
foreign
them
but
to my older
appealing,
brother
like a
Marcus.
vacation destination
And everything I
couldn't
thought
quite
I knew
afford,
about
but
family
might someday
loyalty.
visit.
I'm Jasmine
Love
Reyes,
without
28 years
sacrifice.
old.
Care
Until 3
without
months ago, I believed that
crisis.
loving your
Family
family
without
meant
the constant
sacrificing
drain of
everything for
emotional
them.
labor.
No questions
There's something
asked.
else.
Then
I said.
my parents
The house
handed the deed
situation.
of the house I bought
It's
them to my
not
older
just
brother
about the money
Marcus.
I lost.
And everything I thought
It's
I knew
about what
about
it
family
represents.
loyalty. I'm Jasmine
I've
Reyes,
spent my entire
28
adult
years
life
old.
trying to prove
Until
that I'm
3
worthy
months
of
ago,
love.
I believed that
And no
loving
matter
your
what I
family
do,
meant
it's
sacrificing
never
everything
enough.
for them.
Lena
No
reached across the
questions
table
asked.
and squeezed my
Then
hand.
my parents
You know,
handed the deed of the
that's
house I bought
backwards,
them
right?
to my older brother
Love
Marcus.
isn't something you earn through.
And everything I thought
Good
I knew
behavior.
about family loyalty.
Real
I'm
love just
Jasmine Reyes,
exists
28
without
years old.
conditions or transactions.
Until 3 months ago, I
thought about
believed
my
that loving
parents'
your family
explanation
meant
for giving
sacrificing
Marcus the
everything
house,
for them.
that he needed
No
it
questions
more,
asked.
that I was strong
Then
enough to
my
handle
parents
disappointment.
handed the deed of the
That
house I
family
bought
meant
them to my older
sacrifice.
brother Marcus.
None of it had been
and
framed
everything
in
I thought I
terms of
knew about
love,
family
exactly,
loyalty.
but
I'm Jasmine
rather
Reyes,
obligation.
28 years old.
Duty?
Until
The
3 months
necessity of
ago, I
managing
believed that
Marcus's
loving your
fragile
family
emotional
meant
state.
sacrificing
I
everything
don't
for
think
them.
I know
No
what
questions
that looks
asked.
like.
Then
I said,
my parents handed the deed of
unconditional
the
love.
house I bought
Then
them to
maybe
my
it's
older
time to
brother
learn.
Marcus.
Over the
And
following
everything I
weeks,
thought
I
I knew
started
about
making
family
changes
loyalty.
slowly and
I'm Jasmine
deliberately.
Reyes, 28 years
I found
old.
a one-bedroom apartment
Until
in
3 months
Midtown,
ago, I
closer to
believed
my
that loving
co-working
your
space
family
and
meant
further from my
sacrificing
family's
everything
neighborhood.
for them.
The
No
rent was
questions
higher than my
asked.
studio,
Then
but
my
the
parents
Davidson
handed
Tech
the deed of the
contract
house
made it
I bought
affordable.
them to my older
And for
brother
the first
Marcus.
time in my life,
And everything
I
I
was
thought I knew about
prioritizing my
family
comfort
loyalty.
over
I'm
savings.
Jasmine Reyes,
Telling and
28 years
preparing this
old.
story took us
Until
a lot
3
of
months
time.
ago, I
So if
believed
you're
that loving your
enjoying
family meant sacrificing
subscribe to our
everything
channel.
for them.
It means a lot
No
to
questions
us.
asked.
Now back to
Then
the story.
my parents handed the deed
apartment
of the
hunting
house I bought
process
them
revealed
to my
how
older
little
brother
I knew
Marcus.
about my own preferences.
And everything I thought I knew
I'd
about
been living
family
in other
loyalty.
people's
I'm
spaces
Jasmine
for
Reyes,
so long.
28
My
years
parents'
old.
house.
Until
cramped
3 months
studio
ago,
I'd chosen
I believed that
purely
loving
for
your
its low
family meant
cost,
sacrificing
that I never
everything for
considered
them.
what kind of
No
environment
questions
actually
asked.
made me happy.
Then my
Did I want
parents
hardwood
handed the deed of
floors
the
or
house I
carpet?
bought them to my
A
older
view of
brother
the street
Marcus.
or the courtyard.
And everything I
A
thought I
modern
knew
kitchen
about
or a
family
vintage
loyalty.
charm.
I'm Jasmine
I found
Reyes,
myself drawn to
28 years
spaces
old.
with lots of natural
Until 3
light
months
and room
ago,
for plants.
I believed that loving your
The
family
apartment
meant
I eventually
sacrificing
chose
everything
had
for
large
them.
windows facing
No
east
questions
and a
asked.
small balcony where
Then my parents
could
handed
grow
the deed of the
herbs and
house I
flowers.
bought them to my
It
older
was
brother
twice
Marcus.
the size of my studio
And
and
everything
cost
I thought I knew about
$600
family
more
per month.
I'm
But
Jasmine
standing
Reyes,
in the
28
empty
years
living
old.
room, imagining
3
my
months
books
ago,
on
I
built-in
believed that
shelves
loving your
and my
family
computer
meant
set up near the
sacrificing
window.
everything for them.
I felt something
No
I
questions
hadn't
asked.
experienced in
Then
years.
my parents handed
Excitement
the
about
deed
my
of
own
the
life,
house I bought
the moving
them to my
process
older
forced
brother
me to confront
Marcus.
how little I
And everything
actually
I thought I
owned.
knew about family
Most of my
loyalty.
belongings
I'm
fit
Jasmine
into my
Reyes,
car in
28
2
years
trips.
old.
I'd been
Until
living
3 months
so
ago,
minimally,
I believed that
putting
loving your
every
family
spare
meant
dollar toward my
sacrificing
family's
everything
needs
for them,
that I
no
barely had
questions
enough
asked.
furniture to fill any
Then
space.
my parents handed
Instead
the
of
deed
feeling
of the house
embarrassed
I
about
bought them
this,
to my
I
older brother
decided,
Marcus. to see it as an opportunity to build something entirely new.
I'm Jasmine Reyes.
I bought my first real couch, not a
until 3 months ago. I believe that loving your family meant sacrificing everything for
fabric that made me think of
asked.
ocean depths. Then
I
my parents
invested in
handed
good
the deed of the house
I'd
I bought
always
them to my older
told
brother
myself
Marcus.
were too expensive
and
to
everything
justify.
I thought I knew about family
I hung
loyalty.
artwork on the
I'm
walls,
Jasmine Reyes,
including a
28
small
years old.
painting
Lena had
until
made
3
in
months
college
ago.
that
I believe
I'd always
that loving your
admired,
family
but never
meant
had space to
sacrificing
display
everything for them.
each purchase.
No
Felt like a
questions
small
asked.
act of rebellion.
Then
my
against the
parents
scarcity
handed the deed
mindset
of the
that had
house I
governed my
bought
life
them
for
to my older brother Marcus.
so long. Yes, I
and
could
everything
afford
I thought
nice
I
things
knew
for
about
myself.
family loyalty.
Yes,
I'm Jasmine
I deserve
Reyes,
comfort
28
and
years
beauty.
old.
Yes, until 3 months
my
ago,
happiness
I
was
believe
worth
that
investing
loving
in.
your
My
family
family
meant
didn't know about the
sacrificing
move.
everything for them.
I had stopped
No
responding to their
asked.
calls and texts
Then
immediately.
my parents handed the
instead
deed of the
taking
house I bought them
time
to my
to
older
craft
brother
careful,
Marcus. Distant
and
responses.
everything I thought I knew about
When my
family
mother
loyalty.
texted about
I'm
Sunday
Jasmine
dinner,
Reyes,
I replied that I
28
was
years old.
busy with work. Until 3
When
months
my
ago,
father
I
called to
believe
ask
that
about
loving
my
your
health
family
insurance
meant
options,
sacrificing
I
everything
suggested
for
he
them.
research them
No
himself.
questions asked. When Marcus
Then
sent a
my
rambling
parents handed
message
the
about
deed of the
wanting
house
to talk
I bought
things
them to my older brother
through,
Marcus.
I didn't respond at
and
all.
everything I
The
thought I knew
silence
about
felt
family
strange.
loyalty.
But
I'm
not
Jasmine
welcome.
Reyes,
28 years
for
old.
the first time in my
Until
adult
3
life,
months ago,
my
I
phone wasn't
believe that
constantly
loving your
buzzing
family
with
meant
requests for money,
sacrificing everything
emotional
for them.
support, or
No
practical
questions
help.
asked.
My weekends
Then
belonged
my
to me. My
parents handed the
evenings
deed
were
of
my
the
own.
house I bought them
I
to
could
my
work
older
on
brother
passion
Marcus.
projects,
Read
and everything
books
I
that
thought I
had
knew
nothing
about
to do with
family
improving
loyalty.
my earning
I'm
potential,
Jasmine Reyes,
or
28
simply
years
sit on
old.
my new couch and
Until
exist
3
without
months ago,
purpose.
I
But
believe
the
that loving
emotional
your
work
family
was
meant
harder
sacrificing
than
everything
the
for
practical
them.
changes.
No questions asked.
I defined myself
Then
through
my
usefulness
parents
for
handed
so
the deed of
long
the
that
house
I
I
barely
bought
knew
them
who
to my
I
older
was
brother Marcus.
when no one needed me.
And everything I thought I
Some
knew about
evenings,
family loyalty.
I'd catch myself
I'm
reaching
Jasmine
for my
Reyes,
phone to call
28
my
years
mother.
old.
Wanting to
Until
share
3
some
months
small
ago,
success
I believe
or
that
funny
loving your
observation.
family meant sacrificing
Then I'd remember the
everything
legal
for them.
documents
No
spread across
questions
her kitchen
asked.
table and put
Then
the phone
my
down.
parents handed the
grief
deed of
came
the
in
house
waves,
I bought them to
often
my older
triggered by
brother
unexpected
Marcus.
things.
And everything I
Seeing
thought
a
I
family
knew
at
about
the grocery
family
store
loyalty.
with
I'm
adult
Jasmine
children
Reyes,
helping
28
elderly
years
parents
old.
choose produce.
Until 3 months ago,
Passing the
I
neighborhood
believe that
where my
loving your
parents
family
lived,
meant
where
sacrificing
Marcus
everything
was
for them.
probably setting
No
up his
questions
recording
asked.
equipment in what used to be
Then
their
my
spare
parents
room.
handed the deed of the
Receiving
house I
emails
bought
about
them to
family
my
events,
older brother
I
Marcus.
was no longer invited
And
to,
everything I thought I
or
knew
rather
about
was
family
invited
loyalty.
to, but
I'm
couldn't
Jasmine
bear
Reyes,
to
28
attend.
years old.
I started seeing a therapist.
Until 3 months ago,
Dr.
I believe that
Martinez,
loving
who
your
specialized
family
in
meant
family trauma
sacrificing
and boundary
everything for
setting.
them. No
In our
questions
first session, she asked me to
Then
describe
my
my
parents
ideal
handed the
relationship
deed
with
of the
my
house
family.
I bought them
Assuming
to my
all
older
the
brother
hurt could
Marcus.
be healed and trust restored.
And everything I thought I knew about
couldn't
family
answer the
loyalty.
question.
I'm Jasmine
I
Reyes,
never
28
imagined
years
my
old.
family relationships
Until 3
being
months
different
ago,
than they
I believe that loving your
were.
family meant
I'd accepted the
sacrificing
dynamic where I
everything for
gave
them.
and they received.
No questions
where
asked.
my needs came last.
Then
where
my
my
parents
love was
handed the
measured
deed
by
of
my
the house I
willingness to
bought them to my
sacrifice.
older brother Marcus.
The idea of mutual
and
respect,
everything I thought I knew
equal
about family
consideration,
loyalty. I'm
reciprocal
Jasmine Reyes,
support, these
28 years
concepts
old.
felt as foreign as
Until
speaking
3
a
months
different
ago,
language.
I believe that
That's
loving your family
okay,
meant sacrificing
Dr.
everything
Martinez
for
said.
them. No
You
questions
can start
asked.
with what you don't want.
Then my parents
What would a
handed
relationship
the deed of
with
the house
your
I bought them to my
family
older
look
brother
like
Marcus.
if you removed
and
all the
everything I
things
thought I
that
knew
hurt
about
you?
family loyalty.
That was
I'm
easier
Jasmine
to
Reyes,
answer.
28 years old.
No more emergency
Until
phone
3 months
calls at
ago,
midnight.
I believe that
No
loving
more
your
guilt
family
trips
meant
about Marcus's
sacrificing
mental
everything
health.
for them.
No more
No
assumptions
questions
that my
asked.
time and money
Then
were always
my parents
available.
handed the deed of the
No
house
more
I
being
bought them
treated
to
as
my
an
older
endless
brother
resource
Marcus.
rather than a person
And everything
with
I thought I knew
needs and
about family
boundaries.
loyalty.
And
I'm Jasmine
what
Reyes,
would you want
28 years
instead?
old.
She asked.
Until 3 months ago,
I
I
want
believe
them
that
to
loving
see
your
me,
family meant
I said,
sacrificing
surprising
everything for
myself
them.
with the
No
immediacy of
questions
the answer.
asked. Then
Not as their
my
solution to
parents handed the
problems,
deed of the
not
house
as the
I
strong
bought
one who
them
can
to my
handle
older brother
anything,
Marcus.
but as their daughter who has
and everything I
feelings
thought
and
I knew
dreams
about
and
family
limitations,
loyalty. I'm
just like
Jasmine
everyone
Reyes,
else.
28 years
That's
old.
a good start.
Until 3 months
Dr.
ago,
Martinez
I
said.
believe that loving your
Now,
family meant
what would sacrificing everything for them.
To see from them
No
to believe
questions
that kind of
asked.
change was
Then
possible.
my parents handed
This
the
was
deed
where
of
the
the house I bought
conversation
them
got
to my older
complicated.
brother Marcus.
My parents had spent
everything I thought I
28
knew
years
about
treating me
family
as their
loyalty.
emotional and
I'm
financial
Jasmine Reyes,
safety net.
28 years old.
Marcus had spent
Until
his
3 months
entire
ago,
adult life
I believed that
assuming my
loving your
support
family
would
meant
always be
sacrificing
available.
everything for them.
Changing these
No questions asked.
patterns parents would require them to acknowledge that the patterns existed in the first place,
to my older
which
brother
seemed
Marcus,
unlikely given their certainty
everything I
that
thought I knew
transferring
about
the house
family
deed
loyalty
had been the
I'm
right
Jasmine
thing to
Reyes,
do.
28 years old.
But I was learning that
Until
I
3
couldn't
months
control
ago,
their
I believed that
awareness
loving
or
your
willingness
family
to
meant
change.
sacrificing
I
everything
could only
for
control
them.
my own
No questions
responses, my own
asked.
boundaries,
Then my
my own
parents
choices
handed the
about
deed
how
of
to
the house
spend my
I
time
bought
and
then to my
energy.
older brother
3
Marcus.
months after moving into my
and
new
everything I
apartment,
thought I knew about
I ran into
family
Nico
loyalty.
Rivera at
I'm
the
Jasmine
farmer's
Reyes,
market
28
downtown.
years old.
He owned a small
Until 3 months
bookstore
ago,
called
I
Page
believed
and
that
Verse
loving
that
your
I
family
discovered
meant
a few weeks
sacrificing
earlier.
everything for them.
And we chatted
No
briefly
questions
about
asked.
a poetry collection.
Then my
I'd been
parents
browsing.
handed
the deed of the
He
house
was
I
buying
bought
coffee
then to my
beans
older
and
brother
fresh bread.
Marcus.
And when he saw me
everything I thought
examining
I knew
tomatoes
about
with
family loyalty,
the kind
I'm
of
Jasmine
intensity
Reyes,
usually
28
reserved
years
for major
old.
life decisions,
Until 3 months
he
ago,
smiled and
I
walked
believed
over.
that loving your
Those
family
look
meant
like very
sacrificing
important
everything
tomatoes
for them.
he said.
No questions asked.
They're for sauce.
Then
I explained.
my parents handed
Then
the
felt
deed of the
ridiculous
house
for
I bought then to
over-explaining.
my older brother
I'm learning
Marcus.
to cook. And everything I thought I knew about
cook,
family loyalty,
not just survive
I'm
on
Jasmine
takeout and
Reyes,
protein
28
bars.
years old.
That's a worthy
Until
goal.
3 months ago,
Any
I
particular
believed that
cuisine?
loving your family
Everything, I
meant
think.
sacrificing everything for
I'm
them.
trying to figure out what
No
I like
questions
when I'm not
asked.
too tired to taste
Then
anything.
my parents handed
It
the
was a
deed
strange
of the
thing to
house
say
I
to
bought
someone
then
I
to my
barely
older
knew,
brother
but
Marcus.
Nico didn't seem fazed.
And everything I thought I knew
That's
about
the
family loyalty.
Best kind of
I'm Jasmine
exploration.
Reyes, 28
Mind if I
years old.
recommend a few vendors?
Until 3 months ago,
I've
I
been coming
believed that
here for
loving
3
your
years.
family meant
He
sacrificing
guided me
everything
through the
for them.
market, introducing me
questions
to the
asked.
woman who sold the
Then
best herbs,
my parents
the
handed
family
the
who
deed of
grew
the house
unusual
I bought then
varieties
to
of
my older
peppers,
brother Marcus.
the baker whose sourdough
and
was
everything I
worth
thought I
getting
knew
up
about
early
family
for.
loyalty.
His
I'm Jasmine
enthusiasm
Reyes,
was
28
infectious,
years old.
but not
Until 3
overwhelming.
months ago, I
And I
believed
found
that
myself
loving your
relaxing
family
in a way
meant
that felt both
sacrificing
foreign
everything
and
for them.
natural.
No
You
questions
seem different
asked.
than when you
Then
came into the
my
store.
parents
He
handed the
said,
deed of the
as we
house
waited
I
in
bought
line
then
for
to my
coffee.
older brother Marcus.
Different how?
Less
And everything I
rushed,
thought I knew
more
about
present.
family loyalty.
When you were looking at
Jasmine
books,
Reyes,
you
28
seemed
years
like you were
old.
trying to solve a
Until
problem.
3 months ago,
Today,
I
you
believed
just
that
seem
loving
like
your
you're
family
enjoying
meant
yourself.
sacrificing
The
everything
observation
for
was
them.
more perceptive than I'd
questions
expected
asked.
from someone I'd
Then
known for
my
all of
parents
20 minutes.
handed the deed of the house
I've
I
been
bought
making
then
some
to my
changes,
older
I
brother
said.
Marcus.
Good ones, I hope.
And everything I thought
Necessary
I knew about
ones.
family loyalty. We talked
I'm
for
Jasmine
another
Reyes,
hour over
28
coffee
years old.
about books and
Until 3
travel
months
and the
ago,
weird
I
comfort
believed
of
that
routine.
loving your family meant
Nico had
sacrificing
moved to
everything
Sacramento
for them.
after teaching
No
high school
questions
English
asked.
in San. Then my parents
Francisco
handed
for
the
5
deed of the
years,
house I
burned
bought
out on
then to my
testing
older brother
requirements in
Marcus.
overcrowded classrooms.
And everything I thought I
Opening
knew
the
about
bookstore
family
had been his
loyalty.
version
I'm
of
Jasmine
starting
Reyes,
over,
28 years
creating a
old.
space that felt like the
Until 3
opposite
months
of
ago, I
institutional
believed
pressure.
that loving your family
Do you
meant
miss teaching? I
sacrificing
asked.
everything for them.
I miss the students,
No questions
he
asked.
said. But I
Then
don't
my
miss
parents
feeling like
handed the deed
I
of
was
the
failing
house I
them
bought
because
then
of
to my older
circumstances
brother
beyond my
Marcus.
control. And everything
Now,
I thought
when
I knew
someone
about
finds the
family
perfect
loyalty,
book,
it's
I'm Jasmine
pure
Reyes,
joy.
28 years
No
old.
standardized test
Until 3
scores.
months ago, I believed that loving your
administrative
family meant
oversight,
sacrificing
just
everything
connection.
for them.
I envied his
questions
clarity about
asked.
what he wanted his
Then
life to look
my
like.
parents handed the
For
deed
so
of the
long,
house
my
I
goals
bought
have
then
been
to my
defined by
older
other
brother
people's
Marcus.
needs, making enough money
And everything
to
I
support
thought
my
I knew
parents.
about family
Being
loyalty.
available for
I'm
family
Jasmine Reyes,
crises,
28
proving
years
my
old.
worth through constant
Until 3 months
achievement.
ago, I
The
believed that
idea of
loving your
choosing a
family
life
meant
based on what brought
sacrificing
joy,
everything for them.
rather than
No
what solved
questions
problems,
asked.
felt revolutionary.
Then my parents
What
handed
about
the
you?
deed of the
He
house I
asked.
bought then to
What
my
does a
older
good day
brother
look
Marcus.
like in your work? And everything I
Lately,
thought I knew about family
finishing a
loyalty,
project without
I'm Jasmine
interruption.
Reyes, 28
having
years
a
old.
client appreciate the
Until
work
3
without
months
asking
ago,
me to
I
redo
believed that
everything.
loving your family meant
For half the
sacrificing
price.
everything for them.
Going home
No
at a
questions
reasonable
asked.
hour and remembering
Then
why
my
I love
parents
design
handed
in
the
the
deed of the
first
house
place.
I bought then to my
That sounds
older
like
brother
someone
Marcus.
who's been running on fumes
and
for
everything
a
I
while.
thought I knew about
More
family
like
loyalty.
someone who's
I'm
finally
Jasmine
learning
Reyes,
the
28
difference
years
between
old.
working hard and working.
Until 3 months ago, I
Yourself
believed
to
that
death.
loving your family
As
meant
we said goodbye,
sacrificing
Nico
everything
mentioned
for
that the
them.
bookstore
No
hosted a
questions
small
asked.
reading group on
Then
Tuesday
my parents
evenings. Handed the deed
Nothing
of the house
formal,
I bought then
Just
to my
people
older
who
brother
wanted
Marcus.
to discuss whatever they were
and
reading
everything I
over
thought I
wine and
knew about
cheese.
family loyalty.
You seem
seem like someone who might enjoy that,
old,
he said. Until
handing
3
me a
months
card with
ago,
the store's
I believed that
information.
loving your family
Walking
meant
home with my farmer's
sacrificing
market
everything for
purchases.
them.
I realized I just had the longest conversation. My parents handed the deed of the house. I bought them to my older brother. Family drama or logistical
everything I
problem
thought I
solving.
knew about family loyalty.
Two people talking
Reyes,
about books
28
and
years
food
old.
and the challenge of
Until
building
3
a
months
meaningful
ago,
life.
I believe that loving
It
your
felt
family
like a
meant
glimpse of what my
sacrificing
social life
everything
could
for
look
them.
like if I
No
stopped
questions
defining
asked.
myself entirely
Then
through productivity
my parents
and
handed
family
the deed of the
obligation.
house.
I bought them
That
to my
evening,
older brother
I
Marcus.
cooked my
first real meal in the
and
new
everything I
apartment.
thought I knew
Pasta
about
with fresh
family
tomato
loyalty.
sauce.
I'm Jasmine
Herbs.
Reyes, 28 years
From the
old.
market, a salad that
Until 3
included
months ago,
ingredients
I
never
believed
tried
that
before.
loving your family meant
I eat
sacrificing
slowly,
everything for them.
tasting everything.
No questions asked.
Watching the sunset
Then
through my
my
parents
east-facing
handed
windows.
the deed of the house.
No
I
one
bought them
called.
to my older brother
No one
Marcus.
needed
anything.
And everything I
My
thought I
evening
knew about
belonged
family
entirely to
loyalty.
me. For
I'm
the
Jasmine
first
Reyes,
time since the
28
deed
years old.
transfer.
I
I
felt
felt something
months ago,
beyond
I
anger
believe
and
that
grief.
loving your family meant
I felt
sacrificing
possibility.
everything for
Dr.
them.
Martinez
No
assigned me
questions
homework
asked.
that felt
Then my
simultaneously
parents
simple and
handed the deed
impossible.
of the house. I
Write
bought
down
them
every
to my
family
older brother
interaction
Marcus.
over the next month
And everything
and
I thought I
identify
knew
which
about
ones left
family
me feeling
loyalty.
energized
I'm Jasmine
versus drained.
Reyes, 28 years
The
old.
results were more stark
Until
than I'd
3 months
expected.
ago, I believed that
Energized.
loving your
Zero
family meant
interactions.
sacrificing everything for
Drained.
them.
Every
No
single
questions
phone call,
asked.
text message,
Then
and
my parents
accidental
handed the
encounter.
deed of the house. I
That's
bought them
not
to my older brother
sustainable.
Marcus.
I told her during
And
our
everything
fourth
I thought I
session,
knew about
staring
family
at the
loyalty.
notebook where
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
I tracked
28
3
years
weeks
old.
of family contact.
Until 3 months ago,
Even the
I believed that
conversations
loving
that
your
should have
family
been
meant
neutral, like
sacrificing
my
everything
mom
for them.
asking about my
No
health,
questions
left
asked.
me feeling
Then
exhausted.
my parents
What
handed the
do
deed of
you
the
think
house. I bought
that's
them to my
about?
older brother Marcus.
I've been thinking about
And
this
everything I thought I
constantly.
knew about family loyalty.
It's
I'm Jasmine
like
Reyes,
they're speaking a
28
different
years
language
old.
now.
Until 3
When my
months
mom
ago,
asks
I
about my
believed that
health,
loving your
she's
family
not really
meant
asking because
sacrificing
she cares
everything
about
for
my
them.
well-being.
No questions
She's
asked.
fishing for information.
Then my
she can
parents
use to make
handed
me
the deed
feel
of the
guilty
house.
later.
I bought them to my
Can
older
you
brother
give
Marcus.
me an example?
And everything I thought I
Last
knew
Tuesday,
about family
she called
loyalty.
to ask if I
I'm
was
Jasmine
eating
Reyes, 28
enough,
years old.
sleeping okay,
Until
taking
3 months
vitamins.
ago, I
Normal
believed
mom
that
stuff,
loving your
right?
family meant
But then
sacrificing
she mentioned that
everything for
Marcus
them.
has been really
No
stressed
questions
about
asked.
his new responsibilities.
Then my parents
that
handed the deed
homeownership
of the house.
is
I
harder
bought
than
them
he
to my
expected.
older brother
That
Marcus.
maybe I could give him some
and
advice
everything I
since
thought I knew
know
about
so
family
much about
loyalty.
managing money.
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
Dr.
28 years
Martinez
old.
made.
Until
A
3 months
note.
ago, I
How
believed
did that
that
make
loving
you
your
feel?
family meant
Like
sacrificing
she just
everything
asked me
for
to help
them.
plan my
No
own
questions
execution.
asked.
The metaphor
Then
surprised
my parents
me with
handed
its
the deed of
accuracy.
the house. I bought
Every
them to my older
conversation
brother
has
Marcus.
this subtext now.
And everything I
They're
thought I
not
knew
talking
about
to
family
me. They're
loyalty.
talking to
I'm
the
Jasmine
version
Reyes,
of
28 years
me
old.
that always says yes.
Until 3 months ago,
always
I
helps,
believed
always
that
puts their
loving your
needs
family
first.
meant
And
sacrificing
that version
everything
of
for
you
them. No
doesn't
questions
exist
asked.
anymore.
Then
Or I'm
my
trying to
parents
kill her
handed
off.
the deed of
Anyway,
the house. I bought them
this
to my
was the
older
strange
brother
part
Marcus.
of healing, mourning the
And
loss of
everything
the
I thought I
person
knew
I've
about
been.
family loyalty.
Even though that
I'm
person
Jasmine
had been
Reyes,
slowly
28
destroying
years old.
me. The Jasmine
Until 3 months
who'd
ago, I believed
worked
that loving your
80-hour
family
weeks to
meant
buy her parents a
sacrificing
house,
everything for them.
who'd answered
No
every
questions
crisis
asked.
call, who'd
Then
measured
my
her worth
parents
through her
handed the deed of
usefulness
the
to
house.
others.
I bought them to
That
my
person
older
had been
brother
deeply
Marcus.
unhappy.
And everything
she'd
I thought I
also
knew
been
about
needed.
family loyalty.
This
I'm
new
Jasmine
version
Reyes,
of me
28
with
years
boundaries
old.
and self-respect
Until 3
felt
months
more
ago,
authentic,
I
but
believed that
also more
loving your
alone, that
family
my family
meant
was struggling
sacrificing
to adapt
everything
to my
for them.
unavailability.
No questions asked.
My mother's calls became
Then
more
my
frequent
parents handed
and
the deed of the
emotional.
house. I bought them
My
to
father
my older
started
brother
sending long
Marcus.
emails
And everything I
about
thought I
his
knew
health
about family
concerns,
loyalty.
obviously
I'm Jasmine
hoping
Reyes,
to trigger
28
my old
years old.
caretaking instincts.
Until 3 months ago,
Marcus
I believed
oscillated
that loving
between
your
angry
family meant
messages about my
sacrificing everything
selfishness
for them.
and pitiful
No
ones
questions
about
asked.
feeling abandoned by
Then
the sister
my parents
who
handed
used
the
to
deed of
always
the
support
house. I
him.
bought them
The
to my older brother
manipulation
Marcus.
was so
And
transparent
everything I
it
thought
should
I
have
knew
been
about
laughable,
family loyalty.
but instead it
I'm
made
Jasmine
me deeply
Reyes,
sad.
28 years old.
These were the only
Until
tools
3
they
months
had
ago,
for
I
maintaining
believed that
connection,
loving your
guilt,
family meant
obligation,
sacrificing
crisis.
everything for them.
They
No
genuinely
questions
didn't know
asked.
how to have
Then
relationships
my
based
parents
on
handed
mutual
the deed of the
respect
house. I bought
and
them
genuine
to my older
interest in
brother
each other's
Marcus.
well-being.
And everything I thought I
grieving
knew
too,
about family
doctor. loyalty.
Jasmine Reyes,
pointed
28
out,
years old.
they've lost their primary
Until 3
coping
months ago,
mechanism.
I believe that
When
loving
they had
your
a
family
problem,
meant
you solved
sacrificing
it.
everything for them.
When they
no
felt
questions
overwhelmed,
asked.
you took
Then
care of
my
things.
parents handed the
Now
deed
they
of the
have to
house
figure
I
out how
bought
to
them
manage
my
their
older
own
brother
lives.
Marcus, and I'm supposed
And
to feel
everything I
sorry
thought I
for
knew
them.
about family
You're
loyalty.
supposed to
I'm
feel
Jasmine
whatever
Reyes,
you feel.
28
years old.
But understanding their
Until 3 months
perspective
ago,
might help.
I believe that loving
You
your
respond
family
from a
meant
place of choice
sacrificing
rather than
everything for them.
reaction.
No questions asked.
Easier said than done.
Then my parents
when my
handed
mother
the deed
called
of the house
crying
I
about
bought
the
them
mortgage
to my
payment
older
being
brother
higher than
Marcus,
expected,
and everything
because
I thought I
Marcus
knew
had quit
about
his
family
job at the
loyalty.
music store
I'm
to
Jasmine
focus on
Reyes,
his art.
28 years old.
My first instinct was
Until 3
still
months
to open
ago,
my
I
laptop
believe
and
that loving your
transfer
family
money.
meant
The fact that I
sacrificing
did
everything
that,
for them.
I
No
instead
questions
told her I
asked.
was sure they'd figure
Then
it out
my
and ended the
parents
call.
handed the deed
Felt
of the
like a
house I
victory
bought
and a
them to my
betrayal
older brother
simultaneously.
Marcus.
The hardest
And
part
everything
was
I
watching
thought I knew about family
Marcus struggle
loyalty.
with
I'm
responsibilities
Jasmine Reyes,
he'd never
28
had to
years
handle
old.
before.
Until 3
Through
months
mutual
ago,
friends,
I believe
I
that
heard
loving
that he
your
was
family
behind
meant
on several
sacrificing
bills,
everything
that
for
the
them.
house needed
No
repairs he
questions
couldn't
asked.
afford,
Then
that he was
my
considering
parents
taking out a
handed the
home
deed of the
equity
house
loan
I
to
bought
cover
them to
expenses.
my older brother Marcus.
Every instinct I'd
and everything I
screamed
thought
at
I
me
knew
to
about
intervene,
family loyalty
to save him
Jasmine
from
Reyes,
consequences
28 years
that
old.
would ultimately
Until
hurt my
3 months
parents.
ago, I
Too,
believe that loving
but I
your
was
family
learning to
meant
distinguish between
sacrificing
helping
everything
and
for them.
enabling.
No questions
Helping
asked.
would be offering advice
Then
if he
my
asked
parents
for it,
handed the
or
deed of the
connecting
house
him
I
with
bought them to
resources
my
for
older
financial
brother
planning.
Marcus.
Enabling
And
would be
everything I thought I
swooping
knew
in to
about
solve
family
his problems,
loyalty. I'm Jasmine
reinforcing
Reyes,
the pattern
28
where his
years
poor
old.
decisions became
Until 3
other
months
people's
ago,
emergencies.
I believe that loving your
It's
family meant
like watching
sacrificing
someone
everything
drown
for
when
them.
you know you're a
No
strong
questions
swimmer.
asked.
I told
Then
Lena
my
over dinner
parents
at a
handed
new
the deed of
restaurant
the
in
house I
Midtown.
bought them to my
Every
older
part of
brother
me
Marcus.
wants to jump in the water.
And everything I thought I knew about family loyalty.
I'm finally
Jasmine Reyes,
understanding that I've
28
been
years
jumping
old.
in the water.
Until 3 months
For
ago,
15
I
years,
believe that
and
loving
he's
your
never learned
family
to
meant
swim.
sacrificing everything
At some
for
point,
them.
the drowning
No
person
questions
has
asked.
to want to save
Then
themselves.
my parents
Lena
handed
nodded,
the deed of
but
the
I could
house
see
I
the
bought
concern
them to
in
my
her
older
eyes.
brother Marcus.
Just make sure you're not
And everything
drowning
I thought I
yourself
knew
out
about
of
family
principle.
loyalty. I'm
There's a
Jasmine
difference
Reyes,
between
28 years
enabling
old.
someone and caring
Until
about
3 months ago,
their
I believe that
well-being.
loving your family meant
This was the balance I
sacrificing
was trying
everything
to
for
find,
them.
caring
No
without
questions
caretaking,
asked.
loving without
Then my
sacrificing
parents
myself.
handed the deed of the house
Some
I
days
bought
it felt
them to my older
impossible.
brother Marcus.
Other days, it
And
felt like
everything
the
I
most
thought I knew
natural
about
thing
family
in the
loyalty.
world.
I'm Jasmine
The
Reyes,
Tuesday
28
evening
years
book
old.
group at Nico's
Until
store
3 months
became a
ago, I
surprising
believe
anchor
that
in my
loving
new
your
routine.
family meant
The
sacrificing
first time I
everything for
went,
them.
I almost
No
turned
questions
around
asked.
at the door,
Then
convinced
my
I'd be
parents
too
handed
awkward
the
or
deed
too
of the
behind
house
on
I bought
current
them to my
literature
older
to
brother
contribute
Marcus.
anything meaningful.
And everything I thought I knew
Instead,
about
I
family
found 6
loyalty.
people sitting
I'm
in a
Jasmine
circle
Reyes,
between the
28 years
poetry and
old.
fiction sections,
Until 3 months
discussing
ago,
a
I
memoir
believe
about
that
loving
loving
your
your
trauma
family
with
meant
the
sacrificing
kind of
everything
depth and
for
nuance
them.
I'd forgotten
No
was
questions
possible in
asked.
casual conversation.
Then my parents
What
handed
did you
the
think
deed of the
about
house
the
I bought them to my
author's
older brother
decision to cut
Marcus.
contact with her parents?
And everything I thought I knew about
Ask Sarah,
family
a
loyalty.
woman in her 50s
I'm Jasmine
who taught at
Reyes,
UC
28
Davis.
years old.
It felt
Until
necessary,
3 months ago, I
said
believe
Tom,
that loving your
a
family
retired
meant
engineer,
sacrificing everything
but also
for them.
heartbreaking.
No questions
She
asked.
spent so much
Then
time
my
explaining
parents
and
handed the
justifying
deed
her
of the
choice,
house I bought them
like she
to my
needed
older
permission
brother
to
Marcus.
protect herself.
And everything I
That's
thought I knew about family
the hardest
loyalty.
part.
I'm
Added
Jasmine
Maria, a
Reyes,
social
28
worker.
years old.
Society tells
Until
us
3
that
months ago,
family
I
is
believe that
everything,
loving your family
that blood
meant
is thicker than
sacrificing
water,
everything
that
for
you should
them.
forgive anything.
No questions asked.
But what about when
Then
family
my
is the source
parents
of your
handed
trauma?
the deed of the house I
I found
bought them
myself
to my
speaking
older brother Marcus.
before I consciously
And everything
decided
I thought
to.
I knew about family
I think
loyalty.
the hardest
I'm
part is
Jasmine Reyes,
accepting that
28
love
years
and
old.
harm can coexist.
Until 3 months ago,
My family
I
loves
believe
me,
that loving your
but they've
family meant
also hurt me
sacrificing
deeply.
everything for them.
Both things
No
can be
questions
true.
asked.
The group
Then
turned their
my
attention
parents
to me with
handed the deed of
interest
the
rather
house
than
I bought them
judgment,
to my
and I
older brother
realized
Marcus.
I'd stumbled
Everything I
into
thought
a
I knew
space
about
where
family
complex
loyalty.
family
I'm
dynamics
Jasmine
weren't
Reyes,
taboo
28 years
subjects,
old.
but rather worthy
Until
of
3 months
serious
ago, I
consideration.
believe that loving your
That's
family
such
meant
an important
sacrificing
distinction,
everything for
Nico
them.
said.
No
We're
questions
so
asked.
used to thinking in
Then
binaries.
my parents
Good
handed
people
the deed
versus
of the
bad
house I
people.
bought them to
Healthy
my older
families
brother
versus
Marcus.
toxic ones.
And everything
But
I thought
most
I knew about
relationships
family
exist
loyalty.
somewhere in
I'm
the gray
Jasmine
area.
Reyes, 28 years
After
old.
the discussion,
Until
as
3 months
we
ago, I believe
helped
that
stack
loving your
chairs
family
and
meant
clean up wine
sacrificing
glasses,
everything for them.
Nico asked if
No
I'd like to
questions
get coffee
asked.
sometime and
Then
continue
my
the
parents
conversation.
handed the deed of the house
The
I bought
invitation
them
was
to my
casual
older brother
but
Marcus.
unmistakably interested
in everything I thought I knew
for the
about
first
family
time in
loyalty.
months. I'm Jasmine Reyes,
genuinely
28
excited
years old.
about something that had
Until 3
nothing
months
to do
ago,
with work
I believed
or
that
family
loving your
drama.
family meant
I'd like
sacrificing
that.
everything
everything
I
for
said
them.
and meant it.
No questions
Our first
asked.
real date was a
Then my parents
Saturday
handed
morning
the
coffee
the house
that turned
I bought
into
them
lunch.
to my older
Then
brother
an
Marcus,
afternoon walk through the
and
Capitol
everything
Park.
I thought I knew about
Then
family
dinner at a
loyalty.
small Ethiopian
Jasmine Reyes,
restaurant
28
neither of
years
us
old.
had tried before.
Until 3 months ago,
We talked
I
about
believed
everything
that
as
loving your
experience,
family
living,
meant
teaching, my
sacrificing everything
complicated
for them.
relationship with
No
family,
questions
our
asked.
shared love of science
Then
fiction
my
novels.
parents handed
the
the
way
deed of the
Sacramento
house
was
I bought
changing
them
as
to my
tech
older
companies
brother
moved in
Marcus,
from the Bay Area.
and everything I
Can
thought
I
I knew
ask you
about family
something?
loyalty.
I'm
Jasmine
Jasmine Reyes,
as we
we
shared
shared
honey
honey
wine
wine
and
injera bread.
Until 3 months ago,
What's the
I
best
believed
part
that
of your
loving your
life right
family
now?
meant
The
sacrificing
question
everything
caught
for
me off
them.
guard.
No
Not
questions
because
asked.
it was invasive,
Then
but
my parents
because it was
handed
so
the deed of the
hopeful.
house I bought them
When
to
was
my
the
older
last time
brother
someone
Marcus,
had asked me about
and
the
everything I thought I knew
good
about
things in
family
my
loyalty
life rather than
I'm
the
Jasmine
problems
Reyes,
I
28
needed to
years
solve?
old. Until
Learning
3
who I
months
am
ago,
when I'm
I
not in
believed that
crisis
loving your
mode.
family meant
I said after
sacrificing
thinking
everything
about it.
for them.
For
No
so
questions
long, I've been
asked.
reacting to other
Then
people's
my
needs,
parents handed
other
the deed
people's
of the house I
emergencies.
bought them to my
Now
older
I'm
brother
discovering
Marcus,
what I actually want,
and everything I
what
thought I
makes me
knew about
happy,
family
what
loyalty.
I value.
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
when
28
I'm
years
not
old.
just trying to survive.
Until 3 months ago,
And
I
what are
believed
you
that loving your
discovering?
family meant
That I like
sacrificing
cooking
everything for
elaborate
them.
meals on
No
Sunday
questions
afternoons.
asked.
That
Then
I'm
my
happier when I
parents
wake up
handed the
early
deed
and
of the
read
house
for an
I
hour
bought them
before
to my
starting
older
work.
brother Marcus.
That I want to travel
And
not
everything
for
I thought I
business,
knew about
but
family
just
loyalty.
to see places
I'm Jasmine
that
Reyes,
interest
28
me.
years old.
That I enjoy
Until
conversations
3 months
like
ago,
this one,
I believed
where
that
we're not
loving
trying
your
to solve
family meant
anything,
sacrificing everything
just sharing
for them.
ideas.
No questions
Nico smiled.
asked.
Those
Then
all
my
sound like good
parents handed the
discoveries.
deed of the house I
They
bought them
feel
to my older brother
revolutionary, I
Marcus,
admitted.
and everything
Which
I thought I knew
probably
about
says
family
something
loyalty.
depressing about
I'm
how I
Jasmine
used
Reyes,
to live,
28 years old.
or is something
Until
hopeful
3
about
months
how you're
ago, I
choosing to
believed
live
that
now.
loving your family
As
meant
we walked back to my
sacrificing everything
apartment,
for
I
them.
realized I felt
No
lighter than I
questions
had in
asked.
months.
Then
Not
my
because my
parents
family
handed the deed of the
situation
house I bought
had
them to my
improved,
older
if
brother
anything.
Marcus,
The distance
and
between
everything
us
I
is
thought I
growing
knew
wider,
about family
but
loyalty.
because
I'm Jasmine
I was
Reyes,
finally
28
building
years
a life
old.
based on my own
Until 3
values
months
and
ago,
desires,
I
rather
believed that
than
loving
other
your
people's
family meant
expectations.
sacrificing everything
Would you
for
like
them.
to come up?
No questions
I
asked.
asked when we reached my
Then
building.
my parents
I can
handed
make
the
tea,
deed of
or
the
we could
house I
just
bought
talk
them
more.
to my older brother
I'd
Marcus,
like that, he said,
and everything
echoing
I thought
my
I knew
words
about
from the
family
bookstore.
loyalty.
My
I'm
apartment felt
Jasmine
different
Reyes,
with Nico
28
and it
years old.
warmer, more complete.
Until 3 months ago,
He
I
admired
believed
the
that
plants
loving
I'd
your
been
family
collecting.
meant
The
sacrificing
books
everything
I'd
for
finally
them.
had space
No
to display
questions asked.
properly. The small
Then
painting
my
Lena
parents
had
handed
made
the
that
deed of
now
the
hung
house I
above my
bought them
couch.
to my older brother
I make
Marcus,
chamomile tea
and
and we
everything I
sat by
thought I
the
knew
window
about
watching
family
the late
loyalty.
evening light
I'm
fade
Jasmine
over the
Reyes,
city.
28 years old.
This feels like
Until
you,
3 months
he
ago,
said,
I believed that
looking around
loving
the
your
space.
family meant
What do you
sacrificing
mean?
everything for them.
Intentional,
No questions asked.
peaceful. Like
Then
every
my
choice was
parents
made
handed
deliberately
the deed of the house I
rather
bought them to my
than by
older brother
default.
Marcus,
He was more
and everything I
perceptive
thought
than
I
I'd
knew
given
about
him credit
family
for.
loyalty. I'm
The
Jasmine
apartment
Reyes,
had been the
28 years
first
old.
space I'd ever designed
Until 3
entirely
months
for
ago,
myself,
I believed that
without
loving your
considering
family
anyone
meant
else's needs or
sacrificing everything for
preferences.
them. No
Every item I
questions
bought,
asked.
every color
Then
I'd chosen,
my parents handed the
every
deed
piece
of the
of
house
furniture
I
I
bought them to
possessioned
my
had
older
been
brother
based solely
Marcus,
on
and
what would
everything I
make
thought
me
I knew
happy.
about family loyalty.
It's the
I'm
first
Jasmine
place
Reyes,
that's ever
28
really
years
been
old.
mine.
Until
I
3
said,
months ago,
how does
I
that
believed that
feel?
loving your family meant
Scary,
sacrificing
good,
everything
like
for them.
I'm finally
No
growing up,
questions
but
asked.
also like I'm
Then
15
my
years
parents
behind
handed the
everyone
deed of
else.
the house I bought them to
Nico
my
moved
older brother
closer on the
Marcus,
couch, not
and everything
touching
I
but
thought I
close
knew
enough
about
that I could
family
smell
loyalty.
his cologne,
I'm Jasmine
something
Reyes,
woody
28
and
years
warm that
old.
reminded me of the
Until
bookstore.
3 months ago, I
don't
believed
think
that
there's a
loving your
timeline for
family
figuring
meant
out who you
sacrificing
are.
everything for
Some
them.
people never do.
No questions asked.
Then
my
you
parents
always this
handed
wise,
the deed of the
or
house
is it
I
something
bought
you
them to
learned
my
from
older
selling
brother
books
Marcus,
to people in crisis?
and everything I thought I knew
Definitely
about
learned.
family loyalty.
I spent
I'm
my
Jasmine
20s
Reyes,
thinking I
28
had to
years
have
old.
everything figured out
Until
by
3
30.
months ago, I
Then I
believed
spent
that
my
loving
early
your
30s
family family meant sacrificing everything for them. No questions asked.
Now I'm just trying to make good choices.
My parents
handed the deed of the house I bought them to my older brother Marcus.
Until
everything
almost
I thought
midnight,
I knew about family
sharing
loyalty.
stories about our families.
I'm Jasmine Reyes, 28
our career
years
changes.
Old. Until 3 months ago,
I believe that loving your family
left,
meant
he kissed me
sacrificing
softly
everything
at the door,
for
not
them.
pressuring for
no
more.
questions asked.
Just marking the end of a
my
perfect
parents
day with
handed the
affection
deed of
that
the
felt
house
both
I bought them
natural
to my
and
older brother
significant.
Marcus
After he left,
and everything
I
I
sat
thought
on
I
my
knew about
couch with a
family
cup of
loyalty
tea
and
I'm
thought
Jasmine
about
Reyes, 28
how
years
different
old.
this felt from any
Until
relationship
3 months ago,
I'd ever had.
I believe that loving
With
your family
previous
meant
boyfriends,
sacrificing everything
I'd always
for
been
them.
trying to prove
No
my worth
questions
through
asked.
usefulness, cooking elaborate
Then
meals.
my parents handed the
remembering
deed of the
every
house detail about their lives,
my older brother
being
Marcus,
available whenever,
and everything I thought
they
I knew
needed
about
support.
family loyalty.
With
I'm
Mija,
Jasmine Reyes,
I felt
28 years
valued
old.
for who I was.
Until
rather
3
than
months
what I could
ago,
provide.
I believed
My
that
phone
loving your
buzzed
family
with a
meant
text from
sacrificing
my mother.
everything for them.
Haven't heard from
No
you
questions
in weeks.
asked.
Are you
Then
okay? My parents
Marcus
handed
is
the deed
really
of the
struggling
house I
and
bought
could
them
use
to
his
my older
sister's
brother
support.
Marcus. I
And
stared
everything
at
I thought I knew about family
message
loyalty
for a long time.
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
feeling the
28
familiar
years old.
tug of guilt and
Until
obligation.
3 months ago, I believed
6
that
months
loving
ago,
your
I
family
would have
meant
called
sacrificing
immediately.
everything
Would
for
have
them.
spent the rest
No
of the
questions
night talking
asked.
Marcus through
Then
whatever
my
crisis
parents
was
handed the
consuming
deed of
him.
the house I
would have
bought them
promised
to my
to
older
help
brother
however I
Marcus.
could.
Instead,
And everything
I
I thought
turned
I
off
knew
my
about
phone
family
and went to
loyalty,
bed. I'm Jasmine
choosing
Reyes, 28 years
to
old.
protect the peace I'd
Until
spent
3 months
all
ago,
day building,
I believed
rather
that
than
loving your
sacrifice
family
it to
meant
someone else's
sacrificing
emergency.
everything for them.
It was
No
a small
questions
choice,
asked.
but it
Then
felt like the
my
most
parents
important
handed the
decision
deed
I'd
of the
made
house
in years.
I bought
The
them
call
to my
came
older
at
brother
2:47
Marcus.
a.m. on a Tuesday.
And everything I thought I
jolting
knew
me
about
from the
family
deepest
loyalty.
sleep I'd
I'm
had
Jasmine
in weeks.
Reyes, 28
My
years
first
old.
instinct was to
Until
ignore
3
it.
months
I
ago,
burned to
I
silence
believed
my
that
phone.
loving your family
At
meant
night, to
sacrificing
avoid my
everything
family's
for them.
tendency to
No
treat every
questions
minor
asked.
inconvenience as an
Then
emergency.
my parents handed the
But
deed of the
something
house
about the
I bought them
persistence
to my
of the
older
ringing
brother
made me
Marcus.
reach for it.
And everything I
Jasmine?
thought I knew about
My
family
mother's voice
loyalty.
was thin
I'm
and
Jasmine
shaky in a
Reyes,
way I'd
28
never
years
heard
old.
before.
Until 3
It's your
months
father.
ago,
We're
I
at the
believed that
hospital.
loving your family
The
meant
world
sacrificing
tilted.
everything for
What
them.
happened?
No
He
questions
collapsed
asked.
in the kitchen.
Then my parents
paramedics
handed
said
the
it
deed
might
of the
be
house
another
I
heart
bought them
attack.
to my older
We
brother
were at Mercy
Marcus.
General, and I donned
And
single
everything I
quotes
thought I
T
knew about
dot
family
dot
loyalty.
I can't.
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
Her voice
28
broke
years
completely.
old.
Every
Until 3 months ago,
boundary
I believed that
carefully
loving your
constructed
family
over the
meant
past 6
sacrificing
months
everything
crumbled
for
in
them.
an instant.
No questions
I'm on my
asked.
way.
Then
I threw
my
on clothes
parents
and
handed
drove
the deed
across
of the
town
house
through
I
empty
bought them
streets,
to my older
my
brother
mind racing
Marcus.
through worst-case scenarios.
And everything I thought I knew about
My
family
father's
loyalty.
first heart
I'm
attack
Jasmine
had
Reyes, 28 years
been
old.
8 years ago when
Until
he was
3 months ago,
52
I believed
and
that loving
still
your
trying
family
to work
meant
2 jobs
sacrificing
to
everything
keep
for
up with
them.
medical bills.
No questions asked.
It had been the beginning
Then
of our
my
family's
parents
financial
handed the deed of the
spiral.
house I
The
bought
reason they
them to
lost
my
the house
older
I grew
brother
up in,
Marcus.
the catalyst
And
for
everything
my
I thought I
decision
knew
to
about
become the
family
family's
loyalty.
economic
I'm
safety
Jasmine
net.
Reyes, 28
The
years
emergency
old.
room at Mercy
Until 3 months
General
ago,
was
I
harshly
believed
lit
that
and
loving your
filled
family meant
with the sounds of
sacrificing
medical
everything for
equipment
them.
and hushed
No
conversations.
questions asked.
I found
Then
my mother in
my
the waiting
parents
area,
handed the deed
still
of the
wearing
house
her
I bought them
pajamas
to my
under a
older brother
cardigan,
Marcus.
clutching a plastic
And
cup
everything
of
I thought I
coffee
knew
with
about
both
family
hands like
loyalty.
it was the
I'm
only
Jasmine
thing
Reyes,
keeping her
28
upright.
years old.
Mom,
Until 3
I
months
sat
ago,
beside her
I
and put
believed
my
that
arm
loving
around
your
her
family
shoulders.
meant sacrificing
Despite
everything for them.
everything
No
that had
questions
happened
asked.
between us,
Then my
seeing her
parents
this
handed the
frightened
deed of the house
dissolved
I
my
bought
anger
them to my
instantly.
older brother Marcus.
What did the doctors
And
say?
everything I thought I
They
knew
were
about
running
family
tests.
loyalty. I'm
His
Jasmine
heart
Reyes,
rhythm was
28 years
irregular
old.
and his blood pressure
Until
was
3 months
very
ago,
high.
I believed that
They
loving
think
your
it might have
family
been
meant
triggered by
sacrificing
stress.
everything for them.
She looked at
No
me with
questions
eyes that were
asked.
red from crying.
Then my parents
been
handed
so
the deed of
worried
the house I bought them
about
to my
everything,
older
the house
brother
payments,
Marcus.
Marcus's situation,
And everything I thought I knew
we've
about
been
family loyalty. I'm
double
Jasmine
quotes the way
Reyes,
I've
28
been.
years old.
Even in the middle
Until
of a
3 months
medical
ago,
crisis,
I believed
I
that
was
loving
somehow
your family
part of the
meant
problem.
sacrificing everything
But I
for
pushed
them.
down my
No
defensive
questions
reaction,
asked.
focusing
Then
instead
my
on the
parents
very
handed
real
the deed of the house
possibility
I
that my
bought them
father
to my
might
older
be
brother
seriously
Marcus.
ill.
And
I
everything
see
I
him?
thought I knew about
Not
family
yet.
loyalty.
They said
I'm
family
Jasmine
only,
Reyes,
but
28 years old.
She
Until 3
gestured
months ago,
helplessly
I
at the
believed
empty
that
waiting
loving your
area.
family meant
Marcus is on
sacrificing
his way.
everything for them.
Of course,
No
Marcus
questions
is on his
asked.
way.
Then
Probably
my
driving the
parents
car and
handed the
helped
deed
my
of the
parents
house
buy
I bought them
from
to
the
my
house
older
I
brother
gifted them,
Marcus.
rushing to be
And everything I
supportive
thought I
in the
knew about
dramatic,
family loyalty.
visible way
I'm
that would
Jasmine
remind
Reyes,
everyone
28
what a
years
devoted
old.
son he was.
Until 3
But
months
I
ago,
couldn't think
I
about that
believed that
now.
loving your family
My
meant
father, the
sacrificing everything
quiet
for
man
them.
who taught me to
No
change
questions
oil
asked.
and balance checkbooks, books.
Then my parents
worked
handed
himself
the deed
into
of the house I
exhaustion
bought
trying to
them
provide
my
for
older
his
brother
family,
Marcus
was somewhere behind those
and everything I
medical
thought I
doors,
knew about family
possibly
loyalty.
fighting for his life.
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
28
Marcus
years old.
arrived 20 minutes
Until
later,
3 months ago,
looking
I
disheveled
believe
and
that
smelling
loving your
like
family
he'd been
meant
drinking.
sacrificing everything
He stopped
for
short
them.
when he saw me,
No questions
clearly
asked.
not expecting
Then
me to be there.
my parents
handed
Jasmine.
the deed of the house
I
I
didn't
bought
know
them
Mom
to
had
my
called
older
you.
brother Marcus.
She called everyone.
And everything
I said
thought I knew
neutrally.
about family
We
loyalty.
I'm Jasmine
Sat in
Reyes,
awkward
28
silence for
years old.
several minutes.
Until
The
3
weight
months
of our
ago, I
unresolved
believe that
conflict
loving your
filling the
family
space
meant
between us.
sacrificing everything for
Finally,
them.
Marcus
No
cleared his
questions
throat.
asked.
Look,
Then
about the
my
house
parents
thing.
handed the deed
Not
of the
now,
house I bought them to
interrupted.
my older brother
This
Marcus.
isn't the time.
and everything
But
I
I
thought I
want
knew
you
about family
to
loyalty.
know that it
I'm
wasn't
Jasmine
my
Reyes,
idea.
28 years old.
Mom and Dad,
Until
they
3
thought,
months ago, I
Marcus,
believed that loving your
not
family
now.
meant
A
sacrificing
doctor
everything for
appeared
them.
before he could
No
continue.
questions asked.
A tired-looking
Then
woman in
my
scrubs
parents
who introduced
introduced
herself
herself
as
as
Dr.
Dr. Patel.
to my older brother
Mrs.
Marcus.
Reyes? And
I have
everything
an
I thought
update
I
on your
knew about
husband.
family loyalty.
My mother
I'm
gripped
Jasmine
my
Reyes,
hands so
28
tightly
years
it
old.
hurt.
Until
How
3
is
months
he?
ago, I believed
He's
that loving your
stable.
family meant
It wasn't
sacrificing everything for
a
them.
heart attack,
No
which
questions
is
asked.
good news.
Then
He
my
experienced
parents
what we
handed
call
the
a
deed of the house
hypertensive
I bought them
crisis,
to my older
dangerously
brother
high blood
Marcus,
pressure that
and
caused some
everything I thought I
concerning
knew about
symptoms.
family loyalty.
We've gotten it under
Jasmine
control
Reyes,
with
28 years old.
medication, but we
Until
need
3
to
months
keep him
ago,
for
I believed
observation.
that loving your
The
family meant
relief was
sacrificing
overwhelming.
everything for
But
them.
Dr.
No
Patel's
questions
expression remained serious.
Then my parents handed
I
the
need
deed
to
of the
ask about
house I
stress
bought them to
factors
my
in his
older
life.
brother Marcus.
High blood pressure
And
can be
everything I thought I
triggered by
knew about
anxiety,
family
financial
loyalty.
pressure,
I'm Jasmine
family
Reyes,
conflict.
28 years old.
Has anything
Until
significant
3 months
changed
ago,
in
I believed that
his
loving your family
routine
meant
or emotional
sacrificing
state
everything
recently?
for them. No
My
questions
mother and
asked.
Marcus both
Then
looked at me,
my parents
and I
handed
felt the
the deed of the
familiar weight
house
of being
I bought
blamed
them
for
to my older
circumstances
brother
beyond my
Marcus.
control.
And everything I thought I knew
I'd
about
stopped being
family
available
loyalty.
for every
I'm
family
Jasmine Reyes,
crisis.
28 years old.
Yes, I'd set boundaries.
Until 3 months ago, I
around
believed
money
that
and
loving your
emotional
family
support.
meant sacrificing
But I'd never
everything
intended
for
for
them.
those changes
No
to
questions
impact my
asked.
father's health.
Then
There
my
have been some
parents
family
handed the deed of the house I bought them to
adjustments.
my older
My
brother
mother said
Marcus.
diplomatically. Dr.
And everything I
Patel
thought I
made a
knew about
note.
family loyalty.
Mr. Reyes
I'm
mentioned
Jasmine
being
Reyes,
worried about
28
financial
years old.
obligations and
Until
family.
3 months ago, I believed that
Relationships.
loving your family
Stress
meant
management
sacrificing
is going to
everything
be
for them.
crucial for his
No
recovery.
questions asked.
I'd recommend
Then
counseling,
my
and it would
parents
be
handed the
helpful if
deed
the
of the
family
house
could
I
work
bought
together
them
to
to my older
minimize
brother
sources of
Marcus.
anxiety.
And everything
After
I thought
she
I
left,
knew about family
the three of
loyalty.
us sat in
I'm Jasmine
silence,
Reyes, 28
each
years
processing
old.
the implications
Until 3
differently.
months ago, I
My
believed
mother
that
was
loving your
clearly
family
relieved
meant
that
sacrificing
my
everything
father
for
would
them.
be okay,
No questions
but I
asked.
could see her wheels
Then
turning.
my parents
calculating
handed
how
the deed
this
of the
crisis
house I
could be
bought
used
them
to
to
pull
my
me back
older
into
brother
old
Marcus.
patterns.
And
Marcus
everything I
looked
thought I knew
guilty
about
and
family
uncomfortable,
loyalty. I'm
probably
Jasmine
realizing
Reyes,
that his
28
financial
years
struggles were contributing.
Until 3 months ago,
to my
I
father's
believed that
stress,
loving your family meant
and I felt
sacrificing
caught between
everything for
competing
them.
obligations,
No questions
my
asked.
desire to support my father
Then
through
my
a health
parents
scare
handed
and my
the
need
deed
to
of the
protect
house I bought
the
them to my
boundaries
older
that had
brother
taken
Marcus.
months to establish.
And everything I thought I knew
I
about
think we should
family
all
loyalty.
go home and get
I'm
some
Jasmine
rest,
Reyes,
I said
28 years
finally.
old.
The
Until
doctor
3
said
months
he's
ago,
stable,
I believed
and
that loving
visiting
your
hours
family
don't
meant
start until
sacrificing
8
everything
a.m.
for them.
I'm
No questions
staying,
asked.
my mother
Then
announced.
my parents handed
I
the
can't
deed
leave
of the
him here
house I
alone.
bought them to
Mom,
my
he
older
needs
brother
sleep.
Marcus.
You'll be no
And
help
everything
to
I thought I
anyone
knew
if you're
about family
exhausted.
loyalty.
I'm
I'm
not
Jasmine
leaving,
Reyes, 28
she
years old.
repeated, with the
Until
stubborn
3 months ago,
determination
I
that had
believed
gotten
that
our
loving your
through
family meant
countless
sacrificing everything for
crises.
them. No
But you
questions
too
asked.
should go.
Then
I
my
drove
parents
Marcus
handed
home,
the deed of the
partly
house I
because
bought them
he'd
to my
clearly
older
been
brother
drinking,
Marcus.
and partly because
And everything
I
I
wanted
thought
to
I
have
knew
a
about
conversation
family
away
loyalty.
from my
I'm
mother's
Jasmine Reyes,
emotional
28
intensity.
years old.
The house
Until
I bought
3
looked
months
different in
ago,
the
I
early
believed
morning.
that loving your family
Darkness
meant
smaller
sacrificing
somehow,
everything
less
for them.
significant than
No
it had
questions
seemed when I was
asked.
saving every
Then
penny to
my
afford
parents
it.
handed the deed
Do you
of the
want to come
house
in?
I bought them to my
Marcus
older
asked
brother
when I
Marcus.
pulled into the driveway.
And everything I thought
For
I
a
knew
few
about
minutes,
family loyalty.
The
I'm Jasmine
interior had
Reyes,
changed
28 years
dramatically
old.
since I'd last
Until
been
3
there.
months ago, I
Marcus
believed
had
that
moved
loving
his
your
recording
family meant
equipment into the
sacrificing
living room,
everything for them.
transforming the
No
space.
questions asked.
I'd imagine
Then
as my
my
parents'
parents
peaceful
handed the deed of
retirement
the house I
sanctuary
bought
into a
them to my
chaotic
older
home
brother
studio.
Marcus.
Guitars
And everything
leaned
I thought
against
I knew
walls.
about family
Cables
loyalty.
snaked
I'm
across
Jasmine
the floor,
Reyes, 28
and
years
every
old.
surface was covered
Until 3
with
months ago,
notebooks,
I believed that
recording
loving your
devices,
family
and
meant
empty coffee
sacrificing
cups.
everything for
I
them.
know.
No questions
It's
asked.
messy, Marcus
Then
said,
my parents
following my
handed the
gaze.
deed of the house I
I've
bought
been
them
working
to
on
my
an
older
album.
brother Marcus.
How are the mortgage
And
payments
everything
going?
I thought I knew about family
I asked
loyalty.
directly.
I'm Jasmine
He
Reyes,
had the grace
28
to look
years old.
embarrassed.
Until
It's
3
been
months
harder
ago,
than I
believed that
expected.
loving your
The
family
music
meant
store job job didn't work out and freelance
session
no
work
questions asked.
Unpredictable.
Then my parents
Dad's
been worrying about losing
I bought
them to my older brother
I'm not
Marcus.
going to let
and everything
that
I thought I
happen?
knew about family
How?
loyalty.
You're 3 months
I'm
behind
Jasmine
on
Reyes,
payments.
28 years old.
Marcus stared at me.
Until 3 months ago,
How do you
I
know
believe
that?
that loving your family
Because
meant
I still get
sacrificing
copied on
everything
notices
for them.
from the mortgage
No
company.
questions asked. My name might
Then
be off the
my
deed,
parents
but I'm
handed
still
the
listed
deed
as
as
a
a
house. I
contact.
bought them to
This
my
was
older
the
brother
twist I
Marcus,
hadn't seen coming.
and everything I thought I knew
Despite
about
being
family
legally
loyalty.
removed from
I'm Jasmine
ownership,
Reyes,
I was
28
still
years
connected
old.
to the house's
Until 3
financial
months ago,
obligations
I believe
in
that
ways
loving your
that
family
made me
meant
partially
sacrificing
responsible for
everything
Marcus's
for them.
failures.
No questions
The
asked.
mortgage company,
Then
the insurance
my parents
provider,
handed the
the
deed
utility
of the house.
companies,
I bought them to
they
my
all
older
still
brother
had
Marcus,
my information as a backup
and everything
contact.
I thought I knew about
I've been
family
getting calls
loyalty.
about late
I'm
payments,
Jasmine
Marcus.
Reyes, 28 years
I've
old.
been ignoring them
Until
because
3 months ago,
I thought it wasn't my
believed that
problem
loving your
anymore.
family meant
But if
sacrificing
Dad is in the
everything for
hospital
them.
because he's
No
stressed
questions
about
asked.
losing the house,
Then my
then
parents
maybe
handed
it
the
is my
deed of the
problem.
house. I bought them
Marcus
to my older
sat heavily
brother
on the
Marcus,
couch, pushing
and
aside
everything I
recording
thought I knew
equipment
about
to make
family
room.
loyalty.
I've
I'm
been
Jasmine
trying
Reyes,
to make it
28
work.
years old.
I really have.
Until 3 months
but the
ago, I
payments are
believed
so
that
much
loving your
higher than I
family meant
expected.
sacrificing
And then there
everything
were
for them.
repairs and
No
property
questions
taxes,
asked.
and I had.
Then my
To buy a
parents
car
handed the
when
deed
mine
of the
broke
house.
down.
I bought them to my
Each
older
excuse
brother
was
Marcus.
familiar. The
And
same
everything I
pattern
thought
of
I knew
poor
about
planning
family
and magical
loyalty.
thinking
I'm
that
Jasmine
had
Reyes,
characterized
28
Marcus's
years old.
approach to responsibility
Until 3
his
months
entire
ago,
adult
I believed
life.
that loving your
But
family
now his
meant
inability to
sacrificing
manage money
everything for them.
wasn't
No
just
questions
affecting
asked.
him.
Then
It
my
was
parents
literally
handed the
threatening
deed
my
of the house.
father's
I bought
health.
them to my older
What do you
brother
want me to
Marcus.
do? I
And everything I
asked,
thought I knew
though
about
I already
family
knew the
loyalty.
answer.
I'm Jasmine
I don't
Reyes,
know.
28 years old.
Maybe
Until
you
3
help
months
me
ago,
figure out a
I
budget
believed that loving
or
your family
co-sign
meant
for a home equity
sacrificing
loan
everything for
or
them.
just ...
No questions asked.
I don't know. Talk to
Then
mom and dad
my
about
parents handed the
restructuring
deed
things.
of the house. I bought
There
them to my older brother
it
Marcus.
was 6 months
And everything
of
I
careful
thought I knew about
boundary
family
setting,
loyalty.
and we were
I'm
right
Jasmine
back to Marcus
Reyes, 28
expecting me
years
to
old.
solve his problems.
Until 3 months ago,
Except
I
now the
believed that
stakes were
loving your
higher,
family
not
meant
just my
sacrificing
financial
everything
security
for
or
them.
emotional
No
well-being,
questions
but my
asked.
father's life.
Then my
I
parents
need to
handed the
think
deed of the house.
about
I bought
this,
them to my
I
older
said.
brother Marcus.
Jasmine, please.
And everything I thought
I
I
know
knew
I
about
messed up,
family
but I
loyalty.
can't lose
I'm
this
Jasmine
house.
Reyes,
It would
28
kill
years
Dad.
old.
The
Until 3 months
manipulation
ago,
was so
I believed
obvious
that
it
loving
should've
your
made me
family meant
angry.
sacrificing
Instead,
everything for
I
them.
felt tired.
No questions
This
asked.
was exactly what
Then
Dr.
my
Martinez had
parents
warned
handed
me
the
about
deed of the
the way
house. I
family
bought them
crises
to my
could be
older
used
brother
to justify
Marcus.
abandoning boundaries.
And everything I thought I
the
knew
way
about
emergency
family
situations
loyalty. I'm Jasmine Reyes,
could reset
28 years
relationship
old.
dynamics to old,
Until 3 months ago,
unhealthy
I
patterns.
believed that loving your
I drove
family
home
meant
as
sacrificing
the sun was
everything
rising,
for them.
thinking about
No
the
questions
impossible
asked.
choice in front of
Then
me.
my
I
parents
could
handed the
maintain
deed
my
of the house. I
boundaries
bought
and risk
them
my
to my
father's
older
health
brother
deteriorating
Marcus.
under the stress
And
of
everything I thought I knew about
potential
family
foreclosure.
loyalty. I'm Jasmine
Or I
Reyes,
could rescue
28
Marcus
years
again,
old.
reinforcing
Until
the
3
pattern
months
where his
ago,
poor
I believed that
decisions
loving your
became my
family meant
emergencies,
sacrificing
undoing
everything
months
for
of
them.
painful but
No
necessary
questions
growth.
asked.
Back in my
Then
apartment,
my parents
I
handed
made
the deed
coffee
of the
and
house.
sat by
I
the
bought
window,
them to my
watching
older
the
brother
city
Marcus.
wake up. My phone
And everything I thought I knew
buzzed
about
with a
family
text from
loyalty.
Nico.
I'm Jasmine
How did your
Reyes,
evening
28
go?
years old.
Hope you got some
Until
rest.
3 months ago,
I'd
I
forgotten
believed that
we'd made
loving your
plans to
family
have
meant
dinner today,
sacrificing
forgotten
everything
about
for
the
them.
normal life
No
I've been
questions
building
asked.
outside my family's
Then
chaos.
my parents handed
The
the deed of the
contrast was
house. I
striking
bought
on
them
one
to my older brother
side,
Marcus.
a man who was interested
And
in
everything
my
I thought I
thoughts
knew
and
about
feelings,
family loyalty.
who brought
I'm
joy
Jasmine
and
Reyes,
peace to my
28
life.
years old.
On the other,
Until
a
3
family
months ago,
crisis
I
that
believed that
threatened to
loving your
consume all the
family meant
progress I'd
sacrificing
made.
everything
I
for
called
them.
Lena,
No
knowing
questions
she'd be
asked.
awake and getting ready
Then
for work.
my parents handed
My
the deed of
dad's
the
in the
house.
hospital,
I bought them to
I
my
said
older
without
brother
preamble
Marcus.
when she answered.
And everything
Oh
I thought
my
I knew
God,
about
Jazz,
family
is
loyalty.
he...
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
Okay,
28
I
years
explained
old.
the situation.
Until 3 months
the
ago,
hypertensive
I believed that
crisis,
loving
the
your
stress
family meant
factors,
sacrificing
Marcus's
everything
financial
for them.
irresponsibility,
No questions
the
asked.
impossible choice I was
Then
facing.
my parents handed the
Lena
deed of the
listened
house.
without
I bought them
interrupting,
to my older
which I
brother
knew meant
Marcus.
she was thinking carefully
And everything
about
I
her
thought
response.
I knew about family loyalty.
What does your gut tell
I'm Jasmine
you?
Reyes,
She
28
asked
years
finally.
old.
That I can't let my father's
I
health
believe that
suffer
loving your
because
family
I'm
meant
trying to prove a
sacrificing
point about
everything
boundaries.
for them. No questions
And what does your
asked.
therapist voice
Then
tell you?
my
parents handed
that
the deed of the
rescuing
house
Marcus
I bought
again
then to
won't
my older
actually
brother
help
Marcus.
anyone long term.
And everything I thought I
That
knew
my
about
father's
family
stress
loyalty
is coming from
I'm Jasmine
years of
Reyes,
enabling
28
Marcus,
years old.
not from my
Until
recent
3 months
absence.
ago,
I believe that
that
loving your
swooping in
family
to
meant
solve this
sacrificing
crisis
everything for them.
will
No
just
questions
perpetuate the
asked.
cycle. Then my parents handed the deed of the house I bought then to my older brother Marcus.
Your father without completely abandoning your boundaries.
About family loyalty,
but it has to
Jasmine
be on
Reyes,
terms,
28 years
with
old,
clear limits and
until
expectations.
3 months ago, I believed that loving your family meant sacrificing everything for them. No
there had to be a way to support my father's recovery without reverting to my old role as the family's financial
older brother Marcus,
emotional safety
and everything
net.
I thought I knew about
but finding that middle
loyalty.
ground would
I'm Jasmine
require
Reyes,
more courage than
old.
either extreme.
Until 3 months ago, I believed that loving your family
while
meant
refusing to be controlled by it.
For them.
I spent
no
the morning
questions
researching
asked.
heart-healthy stress
then
management.
My parents handed the deed of the house
financial
I bought
counseling
to my
services,
older brother Marcus,
and local resources for
and
families
everything I
dealing
thought
with
I knew
foreclosure.
about family loyalty.
If I was going to help,
Reyes, 28
it would
years
be
old.
by connecting my family
Until
with
3 months
professional
ago,
support.
I believed that loving
rather
your
than
family
becoming
meant
their
sacrificing
solution
everything for them.
I drove back
no
to the
questions
hospital,
asked.
carrying printouts.
Then my
and
parents handed the deed of the
conversation.
house I bought then
my
to my
father
older
was
brother
awake
Marcus.
looking
And everything
much
I
better.
thought I knew about
Though the
family
monitors
loyalty.
surrounding his
I'm
bed
Jasmine
were a
Reyes,
stark
28
reminder
years
of how
old.
serious the situation
Until 3 months
had been.
ago, I believed that
Mija,
loving your family
he said
meant
when he saw me,
sacrificing
his
everything
eyes
for
filling
them.
with tears.
No questions asked.
I'm so sorry.
Then my
For what,
parents
Dad?
handed the deed of
For
the house I
everything.
bought then to my
house.
older brother Marcus.
We
And
treated
everything
you.
I thought I knew about family
I've been
loyalty.
thinking all night
I'm
about
Jasmine
what we did,
Reyes, 28
and I
years
know
old.
it wasn't right.
Until 3
This
months
was
ago,
what I'd wanted
I
to hear
believed
from
that
months,
loving your
but
family meant
now that he was saying
sacrificing
it,
everything
I
for
realized
them.
the apology
no
wasn't
questions
enough.
asked.
Words
Then
couldn't
my
undo the
parents
damage that
handed
had been
the deed of
done.
the house I
And
bought then to my
more
older brother
importantly, they
Marcus.
couldn't guarantee that
And
the
everything I
patterns
thought I
wouldn't
knew about
repeat.
family loyalty.
Dad,
I'm Jasmine
love you,
Reyes, 28
and I
years
want to
old.
help you get better.
Until 3 months
But
ago,
we need
I
to
believed
talk
that
about
loving
what
your
that
family
looks like.
meant sacrificing everything
Over the next
for them.
hour, I outlined
no
my
questions
proposal.
asked.
I would
Then
help them
my
connect with a
parents handed
financial
the deed of the
counselor
house
to create
I
a
bought then
sustainable
to my
budget.
older brother Marcus.
I would research refinancing
and everything I
options
thought I knew
for the
about
house that
family
might
loyalty.
lower the
I'm
monthly
Jasmine
payments.
Reyes, 28 years
I
old.
would even consider co-signing.
Until 3 months ago,
for
I
a
believed that
reasonable
loving
home
your
equity
family
loan,
meant
but only if
sacrificing
Marcus
everything for
completed a
them.
financial
No
literacy
questions
course
asked.
and agreed to
Then
ongoing
my
counseling
parents handed
to
the deed
address
of the
the
house I
underlying
bought then
issues
to
that
my
had led
older
to this
brother
crisis.
Marcus.
What I
And
wouldn't
everything I
do
thought I
was
knew about
resume my
family
old
loyalty.
role as their
I'm Jasmine
primary
Reyes, 28
financial
years old.
support.
Until 3
I
months
wouldn't
ago,
take over the
I
mortgage
believed that
payments.
loving your family
I
meant
wouldn't bail
sacrificing
Marcus
everything
out
for
every
them.
time he made
No
poor
questions
decisions.
asked.
And I
Then
wouldn't
my
sacrifice
parents
my own
handed the
financial
deed of the house
security
I
to
bought
enable
then
us
to my older
responsibility.
brother Marcus.
This isn't
And
about
everything I
punishment.
thought I knew about
explained to my
family
parents.
loyalty. I'm Jasmine
With
Reyes,
Marcus
28
listening
years
silently
old.
from the corner of
Until
the room.
3 months ago, I
It's
believed
about
that
creating
loving
a
your family
sustainable
meant
situation
sacrificing everything
where
for them.
Dad's
No
health isn't
questions
threatened every
asked.
time there's a financial
Then my
problem.
parents handed the
My
deed of
mother
the house
started
I
to
bought then
protest,
to my older
to
brother
argue
Marcus.
that family should help without
And everything I
conditions.
thought I knew about
But
family
my
loyalty.
father stopped
I'm
her.
Jasmine Reyes, 28
right.
years old.
Anita, we
Until
can't
3
keep
months
doing
ago,
this.
I believed that loving
It's
your
not
family
fair to
meant
Jasmine,
sacrificing
and
everything
it's not
for
helping
them.
Marcus
No
learn to
questions
take care of
asked.
himself.
Then
It
my
wasn't the
parents
dramatic
handed the deed of the
reconciliation
house
I'd
I bought
sometimes
then to my
imagined,
older brother
where my
Marcus.
family suddenly understood
And
all the
everything I
hurt
thought
they
I knew
caused
about family loyalty.
and begged
I'm
for
Jasmine
forgiveness.
Reyes, 28 years old.
Instead, it was a
Until
quiet
3 months
acknowledgement
ago,
that our
I
old
believed that
patterns
loving
weren't
your
working for
family
anyone,
meant
and a
sacrificing
tentative
everything for
agreement
them.
to try
No
something
questions
different.
asked.
Marcus
Then
surprised me
my
by agreeing
parents
to the
handed the deed of
conditions
the
without
house I
argument.
bought then to my older
Whether
brother
it was seeing our
Marcus.
father
And everything I
in a
thought I knew
hospital
about
bed
family
or
loyalty.
finally
I'm
recognizing the
Jasmine Reyes,
consequences of
28
his
years old.
choices. Something
Until
had
3 months
shifted in his
ago, I believed
perspective.
that loving your family
know
meant
I've been
sacrificing
irresponsible,
everything
he
for
said.
them. No
And
questions
I know
asked.
I've taken advantage
Then my
of
parents
how much you
handed
care
the
about
deed
this
of the house
family.
I bought then to
I
my
wanna
older
do
brother
better.
Marcus.
The words were
And
familiar.
everything I thought I
Marcus
knew
had
about
promised to
family
do better
loyalty.
countless
I'm
times
Jasmine
before.
Reyes, 28
But
years
this
old.
time there were
Until 3 months ago,
concrete
I
steps
believed that
attached to the
loving your
promise.
family meant
external
sacrificing
support
everything
systems
for
that
them.
didn't depend
questions
entirely on
asked.
his motivation
Then
or
my
willpower.
parents
As
handed
I
the
left
deed
the
of the house
hospital
I
that
bought
evening,
then to my
I
older
felt
brother
cautiously
Marcus.
optimistic.
And everything
Not
I thought
because
I
I
knew about
believed my family had
loyalty.
fundamentally
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
changed
28
overnight,
years old.
but because I
Until 3
found a
months
way to
ago,
care
I
about their
believed that
well-being
loving your
without
family meant
sacrificing my own.
sacrificing everything for
The
them.
crisis had tested
No
my
questions
boundaries,
asked.
But instead of
Then
abandoning
my
them,
parents
I
handed
found
the
a way
deed
to
of the house I bought
honor
them
both
to
my
my love
older
for my
brother,
family
Marcus,
and my respect for myself.
and everything I thought I
it
knew
wasn't
about
the
family
ending I'd
loyalty.
expected. I'm Jasmine Reyes,
But it felt like the
28 years
beginning
old.
of something more
Until 3 months
sustainable,
ago,
a relationship
I believed that loving
based
your
on
family
mutual
meant
respect
sacrificing
rather than
everything for them.
One-sided sacrifice.
No questions asked.
3 weeks after my father's hospital
my parents
stay,
handed the deed
I thought
of the
we'd
house
found a
I bought
sustainable
them to my
balance.
older brother Marcus,
The financial counselor, and everything I thought I knew
connected
about
them with
family
had
loyalty.
helped create
I'm
a
Jasmine
realistic
Reyes,
budget.
28
years old.
Marcus had enrolled
Until
in
3
both
months
the
ago,
financial
I
literacy
believed that
course
loving your
and weekly
family meant
therapy sessions.
sacrificing everything for
The
them.
refinancing process was
questions
moving
asked.
forward, which
Then
would lower their
my
monthly
parents handed
payments
the
by
deed of the
almost
house I bought them
$400
to my older brother Marcus,
but old patterns die
and everything
hard.
I thought I knew
And the
about
first real
family
test
loyalty
came on a Thursday
Jasmine
evening when I
Reyes,
was
28
having
years
dinner
old.
with Nico at a small
Until 3 months
Italian
ago, I believed
place
that
near
loving
his
your family
bookstore.
meant sacrificing
My
everything
phone
for
had been
them.
buzzing
No
intermittently
questions
throughout our
asked.
meal,
Then
but I'd
my
learned to resist
parents
the
handed
urge
the
to
deed
check
of the house
every
I bought
message
them to my
immediately.
older brother Marcus.
We were discussing a book of
And everything I
essays
thought I
about
knew
urban
about
gardening.
family
Nico
loyalty.
was thinking
I'm
of
Jasmine
starting
Reyes, 28 years
a small
old.
herb garden
Until 3
behind the
months
store
ago,
when
I
finally
believed that
glanced
loving
at
your
my
family
screen.
meant
14
sacrificing
missed
everything for
calls.
them. No
6
questions
text
asked.
messages.
Then
All
my
from my
parents
mother.
handed the deed of the
Emergency
house I bought
situation.
them to my older brother
Marcus arrested. Need
And
bail
everything
money.
I thought I knew
Please
about family
call.
loyalty.
My
I'm
stomach
Jasmine
dropped.
Reyes, 28 years
Nico
old.
looked concerned
Until
as my
3
face
months ago,
changed.
I believed that
Family
loving your family
crisis?
meant sacrificing
He asked
everything
gently.
for them.
Apparently.
No questions asked.
I called my mother
Then
back,
my parents
stepping
handed the deed of the
outside
house
the
I
restaurant
bought
for
them to my
privacy.
older brother Marcus.
Jasmine, thank God.
And everything I thought I
Marcus was
knew about
arrested
family
tonight for
loyalty.
driving under
I'm
the
Jasmine
influence.
Reyes, 28 years
They're holding
old.
him at the county jail.
Until 3
and
months
bail
ago,
is set
I
at
believed that loving your family
$5,000.
meant sacrificing
We don't have that
everything
kind
for
of
them.
money, and the
No
bail
questions
bondsman
asked.
wants 10%
Then
plus
my
collateral.
parents handed the deed of
The
the house I
familiar
bought
panic
them
in
to
her
my
voice
older brother
triggered
Marcus.
every rescue instinct
And everything
I'd been
I thought I
working
knew
to
about
reprogram.
family loyalty.
My
I'm
first
Jasmine
thought was
Reyes,
about
28 years
logistics,
old.
which credit card.
Until 3 months ago,
Had enough
I
available
believed that
balance.
loving your family
How
meant
quickly I could get to the
sacrificing
jail.
everything for them.
What paperwork
No
would be
questions
needed.
asked.
My second thought
Then
was about
my parents
patterns.
handed the deed of the
Marcus
house I
had been
bought
drinking
them to
the
my
night
older
my
brother
father
Marcus.
went to the hospital.
And everything I thought I knew
promised
about
to get
family
help,
loyalty.
to take
I'm Jasmine
responsibility
Reyes, 28 years
seriously,
old.
to make better choices.
Until 3 months ago,
3
I
weeks
believed
later,
that loving
he was
your family
arrested for
meant
drunk
sacrificing
driving.
everything
Is
for
anyone
them.
hurt?
No
I
questions
asked.
asked.
No,
Then
thank
my
God.
parents
He hit a
handed the
parked
deed of
car,
the
but
house
no
I
one
bought
was
them
injured.
to my older brother
But
Marcus.
Jasmine, if he doesn't make
And
bail
everything
tonight,
I thought I knew
he'll
about
lose his
family
job at the
loyalty.
recording
I'm
studio,
Jasmine
and
Reyes,
then
28
we definitely
years
won't
old.
be able to make the
Until
house
3 months
payments.
ago, I
The
believed that loving your
manipulation
family
was
meant
subtle, the
sacrificing everything
unmistakable.
for them.
This
No
wasn't
questions
just about
asked.
Marcus facing
Then
consequences.
my parents handed the
For
deed
his
of the house
choices,
I
it
bought
was
them
about
to my
protecting
older
the house
brother
I
Marcus.
maintaining
And
the
everything I
financial
thought I knew
stability
about
that my
family
father's
loyalty.
health
I'm
depended
Jasmine
on.
Reyes, 28
Every
years
angle
old.
was designed to make
Until
me
3
feel
months
responsible
ago,
for
I
solving
believed
a
that
problem
loving your family
I
meant
hadn't created.
sacrificing everything
Where's
for
Dad?
them. No
I asked.
questions asked.
At home.
Then my
didn't want
parents
to tell him
handed
yet
the
with
deed
his
of the
heart
house
condition.
I bought them to my
The
older
stress
brother
could
Marcus.
could
And everything
trigger
I thought
another
I knew
medical
about
emergency.
family loyalty.
Could
I'm
put
Jasmine
him
Reyes,
back in the
28 years
hospital.
old.
Could
Until
be
3 months
life-threatening,
ago,
and it
I
would be my
believed that
fault
loving
for
your
not
family
preventing
meant
it. I
sacrificing
need an
everything
hour
for
to
them.
think about this.
No questions
I said.
asked.
An
Then
hour?
my parents handed
Jasmine,
the deed of the
he's in
house
jail.
I bought
He needs
them to
help
my older
now.
brother Marcus.
1 hour, Mom.
And everything I
I'll
thought
call
I
you
knew
back.
about family loyalty.
I hung up and
I'm
stood on the
Jasmine
sidewalk,
Reyes, 28 years old.
feeling the weight of
Until
6
3 months
months
ago,
of careful
I believed that
boundary
loving
setting,
your family
threatening
meant
to collapse
sacrificing everything
under the
for
pressure
them.
of a single
No
crisis.
questions asked.
Inside
Then
the
my
restaurant,
parents handed the deed
Nico
of the
was
house I
probably
bought them to
wondering
my
if I
older
was
brother
coming back.
Marcus.
If our
And
evening
everything
was
I
over.
thought I knew about
If this
family
was what
loyalty.
dating me would
I'm Jasmine
always be
Reyes,
like,
28 years
interrupted
old.
dinners and family
Until 3 months
emergencies
ago,
that took
I believed that
precedence
loving your
over everything
family meant
else. I
sacrificing
called
everything for them.
Dr. Martinez's
No questions
emergency
asked.
line.
Then
I know
my
it's after
parents handed
hours.
the deed of the
I
house
said when
I
she
bought
called
them
back
to my
10
older
minutes
brother
later,
Marcus.
But I need help
And everything
thinking
I
through
thought I
something
knew about
clearly.
family loyalty.
I
I'm
explained
Jasmine
the
Reyes,
situation,
28
the
years
bail
old.
money, the threats
Until
to
3
my
months
father's
ago,
health,
I believed
the
that
promise
loving your
Marcus
family
had
meant
made and
sacrificing
broken.
everything for
Dr.
them.
Martinez
No
listened
questions
without
asked.
interrupting.
Then my
asked a
parents
single
handed
question.
the deed of the house I
What
bought
would
them
you
to my
do if
older brother
Marcus
Marcus.
Marcus?
Your brother. And everything I thought I knew about family loyalty.
Answer came
I'm Jasmine
immediately.
Reyes, 28 years
I feel
old.
sorry for him, but
Until
I
3
wouldn't
months
bail
ago,
out a
I believe
functional
that
adult
loving
who
your
chose
family
to
meant
drive drunk,
sacrificing everything
then
for them.
expected someone
No
else to
questions
rescue him
asked.
from the consequences.
Then my parents
And what
handed the
changes
deed of the house
because
I bought
he
them
is your
to my
brother?
older brother Marcus.
Everything
And everything I thought
the
I knew about
expectation
family
that'll help
loyalty
I'm Jasmine
if I don't.
Reyes, 28 years
The
old.
threat to Dad's health.
Until
if the
3 months
financial
ago,
pressure
I
gets
believed that
worse.
loving your family
the fact
meant
that saying no
sacrificing
feels like
everything for
abandoning
them.
my family.
No questions asked.
Jasmine, what did you learn from your father's
the D of the house. I
hospitalization?
bought them to my
I
older
thought about
brother
the
Marcus.
conversation we'd had in his
and everything
hospital
I thought I knew about family
room, the
loyalty.
acknowledgement
I'm
that our
Jasmine
old
Reyes,
patterns
28
weren't
years old.
sustainable.
Until
The
3
agreement
months
that Marcus
ago, I
needed
believed that
professional
loving your
help
family
rather than
meant
family rescue
sacrificing
missions.
everything for them.
That
No
enabling
questions
him
asked.
doesn't actually help
Then
anyone.
My parents
I
handed
said
the D
slowly.
of the house. I bought
That
them to my
rescuing
older
him from
brother
consequences
Marcus.
prevents him from
and
learning
everything
to
I thought I
manage
knew
his
about
own
family
life.
loyalty.
And I'm
What
Jasmine
did Marcus
Reyes,
agree to
28
do in
years old.
exchange for your help with
Until
the house?
3 months ago, I
Complete
believed that
financial
loving your
counseling
family
and
meant
therapy.
sacrificing everything
Take responsibility for his
no
choices.
questions asked.
Stop
Then
expecting
my
the family to
parents
solve
handed
his
the
problems.
D of the house. I bought them
How is
to my
driving
older brother
drunk and
Marcus.
asking you for bail
and everything
money
I thought I knew
consistent with
about
those
family
agreements?
loyalty.
I'm
It
Jasmine
wasn't,
Reyes, 28 years
obviously.
old.
Marcus
Until
had
3
broken
months ago,
every
I
promise
believed that
he
loving
made
your
in that
family
hospital
meant
room 3
sacrificing
weeks ago.
everything for them.
But
No questions
the
asked.
emotional pressure to
Then
rescue
my
him felt
parents handed
overwhelming
the D of the
anyway,
house. I bought
amplified
them
by
to
my
my older
mother's
brother
fear
Marcus.
and my father's fragile
and everything
health.
I thought I knew about
I need to
family
go back
loyalty.
inside.
I'm Jasmine
I
Reyes,
told Dr.
28 years old.
Martinez.
Thank
Until
you
3
for
months
helping
ago,
me think
I
clearly.
believed that loving your family
Remember,
meant
you can love
sacrificing
someone
everything
and
for
still
them.
let them experience the
questions
consequences
asked.
of their
Then
choices.
My parents handed the
Sometimes
D
that's
of the
the most
house. I
loving
bought
thing you
them
can
to my
do.
older brother
I
Marcus.
returned. And everything
to
I
the
thought I knew
restaurant
about
where Nico
family
had
loyalty.
ordered dessert
I'm Jasmine
and was reading
Reyes,
while he
28
waited.
years old.
He looked up when
Until
I sat
3
down,
months
his
ago, I
expression
believed
kind
that
and
loving your
patient.
family meant
How bad
sacrificing
is it?
everything for them.
He asked.
No questions
I
asked.
explained the situation.
Then,
My
watching his
parents
face for
handed the
signs
D
of
of the
judgment
house.
or
I bought them
frustration.
to my older brother
Instead,
Marcus.
I saw compassion and
and everything I
understanding.
thought I knew about family
That sounds
loyalty.
like an
I'm
impossible
Jasmine Reyes,
position,
28
he
years
said.
old.
What are you
Until 3
going to
months
do?
ago, I believed
I think
that
I'm
loving
going
your
to let him
family
stay
meant
in jail
sacrificing everything for
Saying
them.
it out loud
No
felt
questions
both
asked.
terrifying and
Then,
liberating.
My parents handed
the first
D of the
time in
house.
my adult
I bought
life,
them to my
I
older
was
brother
choosing
Marcus.
not to rescue a family
and
member
everything I
from
thought
a
I knew
crisis
about
of their
family
own
loyalty.
making.
I'm
How does
Jasmine
that
Reyes,
feel?
28 years old.
Miko asked.
Until 3
Like,
months ago,
I'm
I
being a
believed that
terrible
loving your
sister.
family meant sacrificing
also,
everything
like,
for them.
I'm finally
No
being a good
questions
sister.
asked.
If that
Then,
makes sense.
My parents handed the
It
D
makes
of the
perfect
house. I
sense.
bought them to my older
Sometimes
brother Marcus.
the most supportive thing
and everything
you can
I thought
do
I
is
knew about
refuse
family
to enable
loyalty.
someone's
I'm Jasmine
destructive
Reyes,
behavior.
28 years old.
We talked for another
Until
hour
3 months
about
ago,
family
I
dynamics
believed that
and
loving your
boundary
family
setting
meant
and the difference
sacrificing
between
everything
helping
for
and
them.
rescuing.
No questions
Nico
asked.
shared stories about
Then,
My parents
students
handed
he
the D
taught
of the
who had
house.
needed to
I
face
bought them to my
consequences
older
before
brother
they could make
Marcus.
real changes.
and everything I
And
thought
I felt
knew
less
about
alone
family
in my
loyalty.
decision.
I'm Jasmine
When I
Reyes,
got home,
28 years
I wrote a
old.
letter to Marcus.
Until 3 months
instead of
ago,
calling my
I
mother
believed
back.
that loving your family
Writing by
meant
hand forced
sacrificing
me to slow
everything for
down,
them.
to choose
No
my words
questions
carefully,
asked.
to think about what I
Then,
My
really wanted
parents
to
handed the D
communicate.
of the house. I bought
Marcus,
them to my
I love
older
you.
brother Marcus.
And that's why
and
I'm not
everything I thought I
bailing
knew
you
about
out tonight.
family loyalty.
3
I'm
weeks
Jasmine
ago,
Reyes,
when Dad
28
was in the
years old.
hospital, you promised
Until 3 months ago,
to take
I believed that
responsibility
loving
for
your
your
family meant
choices and get
sacrificing
professional
everything
help
for
for
them.
the issues that
No
led to
questions
this
asked.
crisis.
Then,
Tonight,
my
you
parents
chose to
handed
drive
the D
drunk
of the
and put
house.
other
I
people's
bought them
lives
to
at
my
risk.
older brother Marcus.
Then you asked the family to
and everything
rescue
I
you
thought I
from the
knew about
consequences.
family loyalty.
This
I'm
pattern
Jasmine
has been
Reyes,
going on for
28 years
15
old.
years.
Until 3
Every
months
time
ago,
you make a
I
destructive
believed that
choice,
loving your family
someone
meant
in this
sacrificing everything for
family
them.
sacrifices
No
to fix
questions
it.
asked.
Every
Then,
time we
my
rescue
parents
you,
handed the
we
D of the
prevent you
house.
from
I
learning
bought
to
them
make
to my
better
older brother
decisions.
Marcus.
Every time
and
we
everything
enable
I
your
thought I knew about
irresponsibility,
family
we
loyalty.
teach
I'm
you that your
Jasmine Reyes,
actions
28
don't have
years
real
old.
consequences.
Until 3 months ago,
I
I
can't do it
believed that
anymore.
loving your family meant
Not because
sacrificing
I don't love
everything
you,
for
but
them.
because
No
I love you
questions
too
asked.
much to keep participating
My
in your
parents
destruction.
handed the D
You
of the
have
house. I
choices
bought
right
them
now.
to my older brother
You can call a bail
Marcus.
bondsman and
everything
figure
I
out
thought
how
I
to
knew
pay
about
for it
family
yourself.
loyalty.
I'm
You can
Jasmine
call
Reyes,
friends
28 years
who
old.
might be willing
Until
to
3
help.
months ago, I
You can
believed
ask
that
your
loving your
employer for an
family meant
advance on your
sacrificing
paycheck.
everything for them.
You can sit in jail until your court
asked.
date.
And use the time to
my
think about
parents
whether
handed
you
the
want to
deed of the
continue
house I
living
bought
this
them
way.
to my
What
older
you
brother
can't do
Marcus.
is expect me to.
And everything I thought I
Solve
knew
this
about
problem for
family
you.
royalty.
I'm Jasmine
Hope you'll
Reyes,
use this
28 years
experience
old.
as motivation
Until
to
3
take
months
the therapy
ago,
and
I believe
financial
that loving
counseling
your family
seriously.
meant sacrificing
I hope you'll
everything
finally
for them.
understand that your
No
choices
questions
affect
asked.
other people.
Then,
Especially
my parents
Dad,
handed
whose
the
health
deed of the
can't
house I
handle the
bought them
stress
to my
of your
older brother
ongoing
Marcus.
crises. I will
and
always
everything
love
I thought
you,
I knew about
but
family
I won't always
loyalty.
rescue
I'm
you.
Jasmine Reyes.
28
Tonight is
years
the
old.
beginning of that change.
Until 3 months
Your
ago, I believed that loving your
sister,
family
Jasmine,
meant
I folded the
sacrificing
letter
everything
and put
for
it in an
them,
envelope,
no questions
planning
asked.
to mail it the next
Then
morning.
my parents
I
handed the
called
deed
my
of the
mother.
house I bought them
It's
to my older
been
brother
2
Marcus.
hours.
She said
And everything I
immediately.
thought I knew about
Did
family
you figure out
loyalty.
the bail money?
I'm Jasmine Reyes. I'm not
28
paying
years
Marcus's
old.
bail.
Until 3
The
months
silence
ago, I
stretched
believed
so
that
long,
loving
I
your
thought the
family
call
meant
had dropped.
sacrificing everything
What do you
for
mean
them,
you're not paying
no
it?
questions asked.
I mean,
Then
my
that
parents
Marcus chose
handed
to
the
drive
deed of the
drunk,
house I
and
bought
he
them
needs
to
to
my
face
older
the
brother
consequences
Marcus.
of that choice. And everything I
Bailing
thought I
him
knew
out
about
won't help
family
him learn
loyalty
to make
I'm
better
Jasmine
decisions.
Reyes, 28 years
But
old.
he'll lose his
Until
job.
3 months ago,
Then
I
he
believed
should have
that
thought
loving
about
your
that
family
before
meant
getting behind the
sacrificing
wheel.
everything for them,
What
no questions
about your
asked.
father?
Then
What
my
about his
parents
heart
handed the
condition?
deed of the
You know
house
the
I bought
stress.
them to my
Mom,
older brother Marcus.
I interrupted her with
and
more
everything I thought I
firmness than
knew
I'd
about
ever
family
used.
loyalty.
I'm Jasmine
Before.
Reyes, 28
That
years
stress
old.
comes from years of
Until 3
enabling
months
Marcus,
ago, I
not
believed
from
that
my
loving your
refusal to
family
continue
meant
enabling him.
sacrificing everything
If you
for
want to
them,
protect
no
Dad's
questions
health,
asked.
help Marcus get
Then
the
my
professional help
parents
he
handed
needs
the deed
instead
of
of
the house
asking
I
me to
bought them
rescue
to
him
my
from
older
every
brother
crisis.
Marcus.
I
Can't
everything I
believe
thought I
you're
knew about
abandoning your
family
brother
loyalty.
when he needs
I'm
you
Jasmine
most.
Reyes, 28 years
I'm not
old.
abandoning him.
Until 3 months ago,
I'm refusing
I
to
believed that
participate
loving
in
your
his
family meant
self-destruction.
sacrificing
There's a
everything for
difference.
them, no
This
questions
isn't the
asked.
daughter I raised.
Then my
You're right,
parents
I
handed the
said.
deed of the house
The
I
daughter
bought them to my older
you
brother
raised would have
Marcus.
already transferred
and
the
everything
money
I thought
and
I knew
driven to
about
the
family
jail.
loyalty.
That
I'm Jasmine
daughter
Reyes,
sacrificed
28
her
years
own
old.
well-being to solve
Until 3 months
everyone
ago,
else's
I
problems.
believed that loving your family
That
meant
daughter worked
sacrificing
herself to
everything for
exhaustion
them,
to buy
no
you a house
questions
you
asked.
gave away without asking
Then
her.
my parents
That daughter
handed
is
the deed of
gone.
the house I
I
bought
hung
them
up
to my
before
older
she
brother
could
Marcus.
respond.
My hands
Everything I
shaking
thought
with
I knew about
adrenaline
family
and
loyalty,
fear, and
I'm
something
Jasmine
that felt
Reyes, 28
surprisingly
years
like
old.
relief.
Until 3 months ago,
Next few
I
days were
believed that
brutal.
loving your family
My
meant
mother called
sacrificing everything
repeatedly,
for them,
leaving
no
increasingly
questions
desperate
asked.
voicemails about
Then
Marcus's
my parents
situation.
handed the deed of
My
the house I
father's
bought them to my
deteriorating
older
emotional
brother
state,
Marcus.
the family falling
And
apart
everything I
because
thought
of
I
my
knew about
selfishness.
family
loyalty.
I'm
Marcus
Jasmine
himself
Reyes,
called from
28
jail,
years old.
alternating between
Until 3
anger
months
and
ago,
pleading,
I believed that
promising
loving
he'd
your
change
family
if I'd
meant
just help
sacrificing
him
everything
this
for
one
them,
last time.
no
I
questions
let all the
asked.
calls go
Then
to voicemail.
my parents handed the
listening
deed
to
of the
each one
house I
once
bought them
before
to my
deleting
older
it.
brother Marcus.
The emotional
And
manipulation
everything I thought I knew about
was
family
so
loyalty.
intense
I'm
and
Jasmine
sustained
Reyes,
that I
28
started
years
to doubt
old.
my decision.
Until 3
Started
months
to
ago,
wonder if
I
I was
believed
being
that loving your
cruel
family
rather than
meant
loving.
sacrificing
But I
everything
also
for
noticed
them,
something
no questions
unexpected.
asked.
Without
Then
the constant
my parents
drama of
handed the
Marcus's
deed of the
latest
house
crisis,
I bought them
I
to my
felt
older
calmer
brother
than I
Marcus.
had in months. And everything I
could
thought I
focus
knew
on
about
work
family
without
loyalty.
interruption. I'm Jasmine
I could make
Reyes,
plans
28
with
years old.
Nico without worrying
Until
about
3 months
family
ago,
emergencies.
I believed that loving
I
your
could
family
sleep
meant
through the night
sacrificing
without
everything for
my
them,
phone buzzing with
questions
requests for
asked.
help. On
Then
Saturday
my
morning,
parents handed the
Marcus
deed
was
of the
released
house
on
I
bail,
bought them
funded
to
by
my
a friend
older
from the
brother
recording
Marcus.
studio. And everything
My mother
I thought I knew
called
about
to inform
family
me of this
loyalty,
development.
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
clearly
28
expecting
years
me to
old.
feel guilty that
Until
someone
3
else
months
had
ago,
done what
I
she
believed
thought I
that
should
loving
have
your
done.
family meant
I'm glad he
sacrificing
has
everything
friends
for
who care
them,
about him.
no
I
questions
said.
asked.
Friends
Then
shouldn't
my
have to
parents
do what
handed
family
the
should
deed of
do.
the house I bought
She
them
replied.
to my older brother Marcus.
You're right.
And
Family
everything
should
I
help
thought I
each
knew
other
about
learn
family
and grow
loyalty.
and make
I'm
better
Jasmine
choices.
Reyes, 28 years old.
Family shouldn't enable
Until 3 months
destructive
ago,
behavior
I
or
believed that
rescue each
loving
other
your family
from
meant
every
sacrificing
consequence.
everything for them,
That's what friends
no
are, for healthy
questions asked.
support that encourage
Then
personal
my parents handed the deed of the
responsibility.
house I bought them
3
to my
days
older
later, I
brother
received a
Marcus.
text from Marcus.
And everything I thought I
Got
knew
your
about
letter.
family loyalty.
I hate you
I'm
right
Jasmine
now, but
Reyes,
I think you
28
might be
years
right.
old.
Starting
Until 3 months
a
ago,
tomorrow.
I believed that
It
loving your
wasn't an
family meant
apology or
sacrificing
acknowledgement
everything
of
for
all
them,
the hurt he
no
caused.
questions asked.
But it was the
Then
first
my
sign that
parents handed
consequences
the
might
deed of the
actually
house I
motivate
bought them
change
to my
in a way
older
that
brother
rescue
Marcus.
missions never had.
And everything I thought I
That
knew about evening,
family
Mija
loyalty.
came over for
I'm
dinner.
Jasmine Reyes, 28 years old.
I cooked the elaborate Sunday meal
Until
I've been
3 months
craving
ago,
out,
I believed that
salmon,
loving your
roasted
family meant
vegetables.
sacrificing everything
From the farmer's
for them.
market,
No
homemade
questions
bread that had
asked.
taken all
Then
afternoon
my
to prepare.
parents handed the deed
We
of the
ate by
house I bought
candlelight,
them to my
talking
older
about
brother
books and
Marcus,
travel and the small
and everything
daily
I thought I knew
pleasures
about
that made
family
life
loyalty.
meaningful.
I'm Jasmine
You
Reyes,
seem
28
different,
years old,
he said over dessert.
Until 3 months ago,
More
I
settled.
believed that loving your family
Somehow,
meant sacrificing
I feel like I
everything for
finally
them.
chose myself.
No
I
questions
said.
asked. Not instead
Then
of my family,
my parents
but
handed
alongside
the deed
them.
of the house I bought
For the
them
first
to my
time,
older brother
my needs
Marcus
matter as much as
everything I
everyone
thought I
else's.
knew about family
How does
loyalty.
that feel?
I'm Jasmine Reyes, 28 years
Terrifying.
old,
Revolutionary.
Until 3
Like
months
I'm
ago,
finally
I
growing
believe
up.
that loving your
As
family
we
meant
clean dishes
sacrificing
together,
everything
I
for
realized
them.
that this
No questions
quiet
asked.
domestic routine,
Then
the
my
mutual
parents
care,
handed
the
deed of the house
assumption
I
that
bought
both
them to my
people's
older
needs
brother
mattered
Marcus
equally was
and
what
everything
love
I
was
thought I knew
supposed to
about
look
family
like.
loyalty.
I'm
Not the
Jasmine
frantic
Reyes,
crisis
28 years
management
old.
and emotional rescue
Until 3
missions
months
that had
ago, I
defined my
believed that
family
loving your
relationships.
family
meant
But
sacrificing
simple,
everything for them.
consistent
No
respect
questions
and
asked.
affection. My
Then
phone
my
buzzed
parents
with a
handed
text
the
from
deed
my
of the
father.
house I bought them
Proud
to
of
my
you for
older brother
standing your
Marcus
ground.
and everything I
time.
thought I knew about family
Marcus learned
loyalty.
to handle his
I'm
own
Jasmine
problems.
Reyes, 28 years
Love
old.
you. For the
Until
first
3
time
months
in
ago,
months,
I believed that
felt like
loving
I
your
could
family
breathe
meant
freely.
sacrificing
The confrontation
everything for
I've been
them.
dreading
No
came 2
questions
weeks
asked.
later. On a
Then
Sunday
my
afternoon when I was
parents
least
handed the
prepared
deed of
for
the
it,
house I bought
I was
them
in
to
my
my older brother
garden, the
Marcus
small balcony space
and everything
where
I
I've
thought
been
I knew
growing
about
herbs
family
and flowers
loyalty.
or potting
I'm
a basil
Jasmine
plant
Reyes,
when my
28
doorbell
years
rang.
old.
Through
Until
the
3 months
peephole,
ago,
I
I
could
believed
see
that
my
loving
entire
your family
family
meant
standing in the
sacrificing
hallway.
everything for
My
them.
mother clutching
No
her
questions
purse with white
asked.
knuckles.
Then
My
my
father
parents
looking
handed the deed
uncomfortable
of the
but
house I bought
determined,
them to my
and
older
Marcus with
brother
the manila
Marcus
folder in his hands.
and everything I
My
thought I
first
knew about
instinct
family
was
loyalty.
to
I'm
pretend
Jasmine
I
Reyes,
wasn't
28
home.
years old.
I'd been dreading
Until
this
3 months
moment
ago,
since the
I
night I
believed that
refused to
loving
pay
your
his bail.
family meant
Knowing that
sacrificing
eventually
everything
they'd
for
force a
them.
face-to-face
No
conversation
questions asked.
I wasn't ready for.
Then my parents
But
handed the
hiding
deed
felt
of the house
cowardly.
I bought
And
them
I'd
to my
spent enough
older
of my
brother
life
Marcus
avoiding difficult truths.
and everything I thought I knew
I
about
opened the door,
family
but
loyalty.
didn't invite
I'm
them
Jasmine
in.
Reyes,
We need
28
to
years
talk.
old.
My
Until
mother
3
said
months
without
ago,
preamble.
I believed that loving
About
your family
what?
meant sacrificing
About this
everything
family
for
falling
them.
apart.
No
She
questions
replied
asked.
her.
Then
Voice
my
thick with
parents
emotion.
handed the deed of the house
About
I
your
bought
father's
them to
health
my older
declining
brother
because
Marcus
of all of this stress.
and everything I thought I knew
about your
about
brother
family
trying to get his
loyalty.
life together
I'm Jasmine
while
Reyes,
his own
28
sister
years
won't
old.
even speak to him.
Until 3 months ago,
I looked at Marcus,
believed that
who had
loving
the
your
decency
family
to
meant
appear embarrassed
sacrificing
by my
everything
mother's
for them.
dramatic
No
presentation.
questions asked.
He'd lost weight in
Then
the past
my
few
parents
weeks,
handed
and
the
there
deed of the house I
were
bought
dark
them to my
circles
older
under
brother
his eyes that
Marcus.
suggested he
And
hadn't
everything
been
I thought I
sleeping
knew
well.
about family
Are you
loyalty.
sober?
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
I asked him
28 years
directly.
old.
12
Until 3
days,
months ago,
he said
I
quietly,
believed that loving your family meant
"Congratulations.
sacrificing
Can we
everything
come
for
in?"
them. No
My father
questions
asked.
asked.
Please,
Then
Mija,
my parents
we
handed
need
the
to
deed
clear
of the
the
house
air.
I bought them to my
Against
older
my
brother
better
Marcus.
judgment, I stepped
And everything I
aside
thought
and
I
let
knew
them into
about
the
family
apartment I
loyalty.
worked so
I'm
hard
Jasmine
to make
Reyes,
into a
28
sanctuary.
years old.
They looked
Until
around
3
the
months
space with
ago,
obvious
I believed that
surprise.
loving your
The
family
plants,
meant
the carefully
sacrificing
chosen
everything for them.
furniture,
No
the framed
questions
photos
asked.
of me.
Then
With
my
Lena
parents
and other
handed
friends
the deed
they'd
of the
never
house
met.
I bought them to
This
my
was
older
the
brother
life I'd
Marcus.
built without them.
And
The
everything
person
I
I'd
thought I knew
become when
about
I wasn't
family loyalty.
constantly
I'm
managing
Jasmine
their
Reyes,
crises.
28 years old.
You've done well for yourself.
Until 3 months
my
ago,
father
I
said,
believed that loving
settling
your family
carefully
meant
onto my couch.
sacrificing everything for
Think.
them. No questions asked.
My mother remained
Then
standing,
my parents
too
handed the deed of
agitated
the
to
house
sit.
I bought them to
Jasmine,
my older brother
I
Marcus.
need you to understand what you've
and
put
everything
us
I
through
thought I
these
knew
past
about
few
family
months.
loyalty.
Your
I'm
father
Jasmine
has been
Reyes,
having chest
28
pains
years
again.
old.
I
Until
can
3
barely
months
sleep,
ago,
worrying
I
about
believed
this
that
family
loving your
breaking
family
apart.
meant
And
sacrificing
Marcus has
everything
been
for
trying
them.
so hard to
No
get
questions
better.
asked.
But he needs
Then
his
my
sister's
parents
support.
handed the deed of the
I'm
house
not the
I
one who
bought
put
them
you
to
through
my older
anything,
brother
I
Marcus.
said calmly.
And everything I thought I
Marcus
knew
put you
about
through it
family
when he
loyalty.
chose to drive
I'm Jasmine
drunk.
Reyes, 28
I just
years
refused
old.
to rescue him from the
Until 3 months
consequences.
ago, I believed
But
that
family
loving your
is
family
supposed
meant
to help each
sacrificing
other.
everything for
Family
them.
is supposed
No
to
questions
support each
asked.
other's growth.
Then
I
my
interrupted.
parents handed the deed
Not
of the
enable
house
each
I bought
other's
them to my older brother
destruction.
Marcus.
Marcus
And
finally
everything I
spoke
thought
up.
I knew about family
She's right,
loyalty.
Mom.
I'm Jasmine
We all
Reyes,
turned to look at
28
him,
years old.
surprised by the
Until
admission.
3 months ago, I
Jasmine's
believed
right,
that
he
loving your
continued.
family meant
I've been
sacrificing
sacrificing everything for
everyone
them.
else to solve
No
my
questions
problems
asked.
for so long that
Then
I forgot
my
how to
parents
solve them
handed the
myself.
deed of the house I
Getting
bought them
arrested
to
was
my older
horrible,
brother
but
Marcus.
it was also the wake-up call
and
I
everything I
needed.
thought I knew about
He
family
opened the manila
loyalty.
folder
I'm
and
Jasmine
pulled out
Reyes,
several
28 years
papers.
old.
I wanted
Until
to show
3
you
months
these.
ago, I believed that
My
loving your
completion
family
certificate
meant
from the financial
sacrificing
literacy
everything for
course.
them. No
My
questions
attendance
asked.
record from a
Then
meetings.
my parents handed
And
the
this,
deed of the house
he
I
handed
bought
me a
them to my
single
older
sheet of
brother
paper.
Marcus.
A payment
And
plan
everything
I
I
worked
thought
out
I
with
knew
a
about
lawyer to
family
cover the
loyalty.
restitution
I'm
for the
Jasmine
car I
Reyes,
hit.
28 years old.
I read.
Until 3
Through
months
the
ago,
documents,
I believed that
genuinely
loving your
impressed
family
by the
meant
effort he'd
sacrificing
made.
everything for
This
them.
looks like
No
real
questions
progress,
asked.
Marcus.
Then
It
my
is,
parents
and I know
handed
I
the
have
deed
a
of the
long
house
way to
I
go.
bought them to my older
But for the
brother
first
Marcus.
time in my life, I'm
and everything
handling
I
my
thought
own
I knew about
problems
family
instead
loyalty.
of expecting
I'm Jasmine
someone else
Reyes,
to fix
28
them.
years old. My mother was
Until
crying
3 months
now.
ago,
Whether
I
from
believe that
relief
loving
or
your family
frustration,
meant
sacrificing everything for them.
But why do you
No
have to be
questions
this
asked.
way? Then
Why
my
couldn't
parents
we
handed the deed of the
work
house
together
I
as a
bought
family?
them to my older brother
Because
Marcus.
working together meant me
and everything
doing
I
all
thought
the
I knew
work.
about family
I said
loyalty.
gently.
I'm Jasmine
It
Reyes,
meant me
28 years
sacrificing
old.
my financial
Until
security.
3 months
my
ago,
mental
I
health,
believed that
my
loving your
dreams,
family meant
so that everyone else
sacrificing
could
everything
avoid
for them.
uncomfortable consequences.
No questions asked. That's not what we wanted.
My parents
but
handed
it's what
the
you
deed of the
accepted.
house
I bought them
For
to my
15
older
years,
brother
you let me
Marcus.
be the family's and everything I thought I
Solution
knew
to
about
every
family
problem.
loyalty.
I'm
You
Jasmine
taught
Reyes,
Marcus
28
that his
years
choices
old.
didn't have real
Until 3 months
consequences
ago,
because
I believed that
I would
loving
always
your
be there
family
to
meant
clean up the mess.
sacrificing everything for
My
them.
father cleared
No
his
questions
throat.
asked.
You're right,
Then
Mia.
my
We've been
parents
unfair
handed
to
the
you.
deed of the house I
I've
bought
been
them to my
thinking
older brother Marcus
about this a lot
and everything
since
I
the
thought I knew
hospital,
about
and I
family
realized
loyalty.
we treated
I'm
you
Jasmine Reyes,
like a
28
resource
years old.
instead of a person.
Until 3 months ago,
The
I believed
acknowledgement
that
I've
loving
been
your
craving
family
for
meant
months
sacrificing
was finally
everything for
happening.
them. But
No
it felt
questions
different than
asked.
I'd imagined.
Then
My
less
parents handed the
satisfying,
deed
more
of the
sad.
house I bought them
These
to
were
my
the
older
people
brother
who raised
Marcus,
me,
who loved
and
me in
everything
the
I thought I
only
knew
way
about
they knew
family
how.
loyalty. Who
I'm Jasmine
genuinely
Reyes,
believed
28 years old.
that asking
Until
me
3
to
months ago,
sacrifice
I believed
everything
that
was a
loving
sign
your
of family
trust
meant rather than
sacrificing everything
exploitation.
for them.
I don't
No
need you
questions
to feel
asked.
guilty about the past.
Then my
I
parents
said.
handed the deed
But
of
I
the
need
house
you to
I bought them to
understand that
my
our
older brother
relationships
Marcus
can't continue the
and
way
everything
they
I thought I
were.
knew about
What does
family
that
loyalty.
mean?
I'm Jasmine
mother
Reyes,
asked.
28 years old.
It means I love you,
Until
but
3
I
months
won't be your
ago,
safety
I
net
believed that
anymore.
loving your family meant
means
sacrificing
Marcus needs
everything
to handle
for
his
them.
own crises.
No questions asked.
It means if Dad
Then
has health
my
problems,
parents handed the
we'll
deed of
deal
the
with them
house I bought
together.
them to my
But we
older
won't
brother
use
Marcus
them as emotional
and everything
leverage
I
to
thought I knew
manipulate
about
each
family
other.
loyalty.
And the
I'm
house?
Jasmine Reyes, 28
Marcus
years
asked
old.
quietly.
Until
This
3
was
months
the
ago,
heart
I believed
of
that
the
loving your
matter, the
family
symbol
meant
of
sacrificing
everything that had
everything
gone
for
wrong
them.
between us.
No questions
The
asked.
house is yours now.
Then my parents
You're
handed the
responsible
deed
for the
of the
mortgage,
house I bought
the
them to my
maintenance,
older brother
the property
Marcus,
taxes, and everything I thought I knew about
If you
family
can't handle
loyalty.
those
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
responsibilities,
28
you need to
years
sell
old.
it and find something you
Until
can
3
afford.
months ago, I
Even
believed
if that
that loving
means
your
Mom
family
and
meant
Dad
sacrificing
have to
everything for
move.
them. Even
No
then,
questions asked.
they're adults, Marcus.
Then my parents
They
handed
can
the
make
deed of
their
the
own
house I
decisions
bought
about
them to my
housing,
older brother
just
Marcus
like I've had to do.
and everything I thought I knew
My
about
mother
family
sat down
loyalty.
heavily,
I'm Jasmine
as
Reyes,
if the weight of
28 years old.
responsibility for her own life
Until 3 months
was
ago,
too much
I
to bear.
believed that loving your
I don't
family meant
understand how we got to
sacrificing
this
everything
point.
for them.
We
No
used to be so
questions
close.
asked. Then
We were
my
close
parents
because I
handed
had
the
no
deed of the
boundaries.
house I bought
I
them
said,
to my older brother
"You could
Marcus.
call me." And
At
everything
any
I thought I
time,
knew about
ask me for
family
any amount of
loyalty.
money.
I'm Jasmine
Expect me to
Reyes,
solve any
28 years
problem.
old.
That felt
Until
like
3 months ago,
closeness,
I
but it
believed that
wasn't
loving
a
your
real
family meant
relationship.
sacrificing
It was
everything for them.
dependency.
No
questions
so,
asked.
What happens now?
Then my parents
father
handed
asked.
the deed of the house I
Now we
bought them
figure
to
out
my
how to
older brother
have
Marcus
actual relationships.
and everything I thought I knew
based
about
on
family
mutual
loyalty.
respect
I'm
instead
Jasmine
of one-sided
Reyes, 28
sacrifice.
years old.
Based on
Until 3
choosing to
months
spend
ago,
time
I
together
believed that
because
loving your
we
family
enjoy each
meant
other's company,
sacrificing
not
everything
because
for
someone
them.
needs something.
No questions asked.
Marcus surprised.
Then my parents
Me by
handed the deed of
smiling.
the house I
That
bought
sounds
them
nice,
to my older
actually.
brother Marcus.
I've missed just
And
talking
everything
to
I
you
thought I
about
knew
normal
about
stuff
family loyalty.
without there
I'm
being
Jasmine
some
Reyes,
crisis
28
or drama.
years old.
Me
Until
too.
3 months ago, I believed that
admitted.
loving your family
We
meant
talked for another
sacrificing
hour,
everything
working
for them.
through practical
No
details
questions
about
asked.
family gatherings.
Then my parents
Communication
handed the deed of the
boundaries
house
and
I bought
what
them
support
to my
looked like
older brother
versus
Marcus.
enabling. And
It
everything
wasn't
I
a
thought I knew
perfect
about family
conversation.
loyalty.
My mother
I'm
struggled
Jasmine
to
Reyes,
accept
28
that
years
her
old.
emotional needs
Until
weren't
3
my
months ago, I
responsibility to
believed that
manage,
loving your family
but it felt
meant
like the beginning of
sacrificing
something
everything
healthier.
for them. When
No
they were
questions
preparing to
asked.
leave, Marcus
Then my
hugged me for
parents
the
handed the deed of the
first
house
time
I
in
bought
months.
them to my older
I'm
brother
sorry,
Marcus.
he whispered.
And everything I thought I knew
For
about
all of it.
family loyalty.
The house,
Jasmine
the bail
Reyes,
money,
28
the
years
15
old.
years of treating you
Until
like
3
my
months
personal
ago,
ATM.
I
believe that loving your family meant sacrificing everything for them.
I
No
said
questions
and meant
asked.
it. After they left,
Then
I called
my parents
Michael.
handed the deed of
Are
the
you
house
free for
I bought
dinner?
them to my
I
older
need
brother
to decompress
Marcus
after a family visit.
and everything I thought I knew about family loyalty.
Visit or
I'm Jasmine
traumatic
Reyes,
visit.
28
Both,
years old.
somehow.
Until 3 months
came
ago,
over with
I
takeout
believed that
from our
loving your
favorite
family
Thai
meant
restaurant,
sacrificing
and we
everything
ate on my
for
balcony
them.
as the sun
No
set
questions
over
asked.
Sacramento.
Then
I
my
told him
parents
about the
handed the deed of the
conversation,
house
the
I bought
documents
them
Marcus
to my
had
older
brought,
brother
the
Marcus
cautious.
and everything
Hope I
I thought
felt
I
about
knew
our
about
family's
family
future.
loyalty. I'm
How do you
Jasmine
feel?
Reyes, 28
He
years
asked.
old.
Proud of myself for holding my boundaries.
I believe that loving your family meant sacrificing everything for them. No questions
Hopeful
asked.
that we might actually be able to have healthy relationships.
The house I
moving
bought then
forward.
to my older brother
that
Marcus.
sounds like a realistic
and
assessment.
everything I thought I knew about family loyalty.
Weird part
Jasmine
is that
Reyes,
I think
28
Marcus
years
needed
old.
this more than anyone.
Until 3 months ago,
He's been
I
trying to
believed that
prove
loving
he's
your
worthy of
family
love
meant
through his
sacrificing
music,
everything
his
for them.
artistic identity,
No
his
questions
grand
asked.
dreams.
Then,
But he's
my
never
parents
learned to
handed
prove
the
his
deed of the
worth
house
with
I
basic
bought then to my
responsibility
older
and
brother
self-care.
Marcus.
And now,
And everything I thought I knew
now
about
he's
family
learning
loyalty.
that real
I'm
self-respect
Jasmine Reyes, 28 years
comes
old.
from handling your
Until
own
3 months
problems.
ago, I believed that
people
loving your
respect
family
you
meant
more when you don't
sacrificing
need
everything
constant
for them.
rescue.
No questions
That
asked.
being an adult feels
Then
better
my
than being an
parents
eternal
handed
child.
the deed of the house I
Mija
bought then
reached
to my
across the
older
table
brother
and
Marcus.
took my hand.
And everything
And
I
what
thought I
about
knew
you?
about family loyalty.
What have you learned?
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
I thought about the
28 years
question
old.
seriously.
Until 3 months
I've
ago,
learned that
I believed that
love
loving
doesn't
your
require
family meant
sacrifice.
sacrificing everything
That
for
setting
them.
boundaries
No
isn't
questions
selfish.
asked.
It's necessary
Then
for real
my parents
intimacy.
handed the deed of
That
the
I can
house
care
I
about
bought
my
then to
family's
my older
well-being
brother
without being
Marcus.
responsible for their
And everything I
choices.
thought I knew about
Those
family
are
loyalty.
huge realizations.
I'm Jasmine Reyes, 28
They
years
feel
old.
like permission to finally
Until 3
live
months
my
ago,
own.
I believed that
Life.
loving your family
As
meant
we cleaned up
sacrificing
dinner,
everything
my phone
for them.
buzzed with a text
No
from
questions
Marcus.
asked.
Thank you
Then
for not
my parents
enabling me
handed
anymore.
the deed of the house I
I
bought
know it
then
was
to my
hard,
older brother
but it was
Marcus.
the most loving thing
And
you could
everything
have
I
done.
thought I knew about
For
family
the first
loyalty.
time in
I'm
months,
Jasmine Reyes,
I felt
28
genuine
years
hope
old.
about my families.
Until 3 months ago,
Future,
I believed that
not
loving your
because
family
I
meant
believed they'd
sacrificing
never have
everything
problems
for
again,
them.
but
No
because
questions
I finally
asked.
understood that their
Then
problems
my
didn't
parents
have to
handed
become
the
my
deed of the house
emergencies.
I bought then to
I
my
could love
older
them and
brother
support them
Marcus.
without sacrificing
And everything
myself.
I thought I knew
And
about family
that
loyalty.
distinction made
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
all the
28
difference.
years old.
That night,
Until
I
3
fell
months
asleep
ago,
feeling
I
lighter
believed
than
that
I had
loving
in
your
years.
family meant sacrificing
Knowing that I'd
everything for
finally
them.
found the
No
courage to
questions
choose
asked.
myself without abandoning the
my
people I
parents
loved.
handed the deed of the
6
house
months
I
later,
bought then to my
I
older
stood
brother
in the kitchen of my
Marcus.
apartment,
And
preparing
everything I thought I
Thanksgiving
knew
dinner
about
for 5
family
people
loyalty.
myself.
I'm Jasmine
Mija,
Reyes,
Luna,
28
and
years old.
surprisingly,
Until 3
my
months ago,
parents.
I believed that
Marcus
loving your
was
family
spending the
meant
holiday with his
sacrificing
sponsor
everything
and
for
A
them.
friends.
No
A
questions
decision
asked.
that would have triggered
Then
family
my
drama
parents
a year
handed
ago.
the deed of the
But
house
now it
I
felt
bought
like a
then to
healthy
my older
choice we
brother
could all
Marcus.
support. The
And
dynamic
everything I
was
thought I
different
knew
in
about
ways
family
both
loyalty.
subtle and
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
profound.
28 years old.
My mother had
Until
offered
3
to bring
months
dessert
ago, I
rather than
believed that
expecting
loving
me
your
to
family
prepare
meant
everything.
sacrificing everything
My father
for them.
called to ask
No
what he could
questions
contribute
asked.
instead of assuming
Then
I'd
my
handle
parents
all the
handed the deed of
logistics.
the house I bought
When I
then to
mentioned
my
that
older
Nico
brother
would be
Marcus.
joining us, they
And everything I
expressed
thought I knew about family
genuine
loyalty.
interest in
I'm
meeting
Jasmine
him
Reyes,
rather than
28
treating
years
him
old.
as an intrusion on
Until
family
3
time.
months ago, I
The
believed that
turkey
loving your
smells
family meant
incredible,
sacrificing
Lena said,
everything for them.
arriving early
No
with wine
questions
and
asked.
flowers.
Then
How are
my
you feeling
parents
about
handed the
hosting
deed
your
of the
parents?
house I bought then to
Cautiously
my older brother
optimistic.
Marcus.
I
And
admitted,
everything I thought I knew
we've
about
had
family
3 relatively
loyalty.
normal
I'm Jasmine
phone
Reyes,
conversations
28
this
years
month,
old.
which feels like a
Until
miracle.
3 months ago, I
The
believed
doorbell
that
rang
loving
at
your family
exactly
meant
2 o'clock.
sacrificing everything
My
for
parents
them.
had always been
No
punctual,
questions
and
asked.
I opened it to
Then
find them
my
holding a
parents
beautiful
handed the deed of the
pumpkin
house
pie
I
and
bought
looking
then to my older
genuinely
brother
excited to be
Marcus.
there.
And everything I
Mija,
thought I
your
knew about
apartment is
family
lovely,
loyalty.
my
I'm
mother
Jasmine
said,
Reyes, 28
embracing
years old.
me
Until
warmly.
3 months ago,
And
I
these
believed that
flowers
loving your
on your
family
balcony,
meant
did you grow them
sacrificing everything
yourself?
for them.
Most
No
of them.
questions asked.
The basil is
Then
particularly
my parents
proud of
handed
itself
the
this
deed of
year.
the house I bought
My
then to
father
my older
shook
brother
Nico's
Marcus.
hand with genuine warmth
And everything I
when
thought I knew
introduced
about
them,
family loyalty.
asking thoughtful
I'm Jasmine
questions
Reyes,
about the
28
bookstore
years
and
old.
nodding approvingly.
Until 3
When
months
Nico
ago,
mentioned
I
his
believed
plans
that
to
loving
expand
your
the
family
poetry
meant
section.
sacrificing everything
Jasmine
for them.
tells us
No
you host
questions
reading
asked.
groups.
Then
My
my
mother
parents
said,
handed the deed of the
I've
house
been
I
wanting to
bought
find
then to my
people to
older
discuss
brother
books with.
Marcus.
You're welcome
And
to
everything
join
I
us
thought I knew
anytime,
about family
Nico
loyalty.
replied.
I'm Jasmine
We meet
Reyes,
Tuesday
28 years
evenings,
old.
very informal.
Until 3 months ago,
Watching
I
my
believed that
parents
loving your
interact
family
normally
meant
with someone I
sacrificing
cared about
everything
felt
for them.
surreal.
No
For
questions
so long, family gatherings had been tense affairs where every conversation was loaded with unspoken expectations and
everything I thought I knew about family
felt
loyalty.
different, lighter,
I'm Jasmine
more
Reyes,
genuine.
28
Dinner
years old.
conversation ranged
Until
from
3
Lena's
months
promotion
ago,
at work
I believed
to my
that loving your family
father's
meant
successful
sacrificing
garden
everything for
experiments
them.
to my mother's
No
new
questions
quilting
asked.
project. Then,
when my
my
parents asked about my
the deed of the
business,
house I
it was
bought
with
them to my
genuine
older brother
interest
Marcus,
rather
than concern about
and
whether
everything
I
I
was
thought I knew
earning
about
enough to
family
support
loyalty.
them.
I'm
When I
Jasmine Reyes,
mentioned
28
considering a
years old.
vacation to Portugal,
Until 3
they
months ago,
expressed
I
excitement
believed
for
that
me
loving
rather
your
than
family
worry.
meant sacrificing
About the
everything for
expense.
them. No
How is
questions
Marcus
asked.
doing? Then
I asked
my
during
parents
dessert.
handed the deed
The
of the
first
house
time
I bought
anyone
them
had
to my
mentioned
older
him
brother Marcus.
really well, my father
And everything
said.
I thought I knew about
He's
family
been sober
loyalty
for 4
I'm
months
Jasmine
now, and
Reyes,
he's working 2
years
jobs
old.
to catch up on the
Until
house
3 months
payments.
ago, I believed
We're
that
proud of
loving
how
your
hard
family
he's
meant
trying.
sacrificing
And he's
everything
learning
for them.
to cook.
No questions
My mother
asked.
added with a smile.
Then my
Last
parents
week,
handed
he
the
made
deed of the
dinner
house
for
I
us.
bought them
Actually
to my
made it.
older brother
Not
Marcus.
just heated up frozen food.
And everything I thought I knew
It
about
was
family
quite
loyalty.
good.
I'm Jasmine
The
Reyes,
conversation
28
about
years
Marcus
old.
was remarkable.
Until 3 months ago, I
For what it
believed
didn't
that loving
include
your family meant
requests for me to call
sacrificing
him,
everything for
all
them.
about not
No
being more
questions asked.
supportive, subtle
Then
suggestions
my parents
that I should
handed
help
the
with
deed
his
of the house
finances.
I bought them to my
They
older
shared his
brother
progress
Marcus.
with pride rather than
And
using
everything
it
I
as an
thought I knew
opening to
about
draw me
family
back into
loyalty. I'm Jasmine Reyes, 28 years old.
after dinner.
Until
While
3
Lena
months
and
ago,
my
I
parents
believed
looked
that
at
loving
photo
your
albums
family
on the
meant
couch,
sacrificing
Nico
everything for
helped
them.
me clean
No
dishes.
questions asked.
Your family seems
Then
really
my
different
parents handed the
than
deed of the
you
house I bought
described,
them to my
he
older
said
brother
quietly.
Marcus.
They're different.
And everything I thought I knew
Or
about
maybe
family
our
loyalty.
dynamic is
I'm
different,
Jasmine Reyes,
which changes
28
how they
years old.
behave around me.
Until 3 months
How
ago,
so?
I believed that
When I
loving
was
your family
constantly
meant
available to solve
sacrificing
their
everything
problems,
for them.
every
No
interaction was
questions
about
asked.
either asking for
Then
help
my
or
parents
justifying
handed the deed
why
of the
they
house
needed
I
it.
bought them to my
Now that
older
I'm not
brother
available
Marcus.
for rescue missions,
And everything I
we
thought I
can
knew
just
about family loyalty. I'm Jasmine
about normal
Reyes,
things.
28 years old.
like regular.
Until 3 months ago,
families
I believed
do.
that loving your
That must
family
feel
meant
good.
sacrificing
It feels
everything for them.
revolutionary.
No questions
As
asked.
the evening wound down,
Then
my parents prepared to
handed the
leave
deed
with
of the
none
house
of the
I bought
drama
them
that
to my
used to
older
accompany
brother
family
Marcus.
gatherings.
And everything
No
I thought I
crisis
knew
calls
about
about
family
Marcus,
loyalty.
no
I'm
financial
Jasmine
emergencies,
Reyes, 28 years
no
old.
emotional manipulation
Until 3 months
disguised as
ago, I
concern for my
believed that
well-being.
loving your family meant
Thank
sacrificing everything
you for a lovely
them.
dinner,
No
my
questions
mother
asked.
said, hugging me
Then
goodbye.
my parents handed
so
the
nice
deed
to
of the
see you
house
happy.
I bought them to my
I am
older brother
happy,
Marcus.
I realized,
And everything I
saying
thought
it
I
out
knew about
loud for the
family
first
loyalty.
time.
I'm Jasmine
It
Reyes,
shows,
28 years
my father
old.
said.
Until
You
3
seem
months
more
ago,
like yourself
I
than you
believed that
have in
loving your
years.
family meant
After they
sacrificing
left,
everything for
the
them.
4 of us sat
No
around my dining
questions asked.
table, which was still
Then
covered
my
with the
parents
remnants
handed
of
the
our
deed
meal,
of the house I
talking
bought
about
them to
travel
my older
plans
brother
and book
Marcus.
recommendations.
And everything I thought
And
I
the
knew
small
about family
daily
loyalty.
pleasures that
I'm
make
Jasmine
life
Reyes,
meaningful.
28 years old.
I need to tell you
Until
all
3 months
something.
ago, I believed
said
that
as
loving
Lena
your
was getting
family
ready to
meant
head home.
sacrificing
A
everything
year
for them.
ago, I
No
was
questions
convinced that
asked.
caring about people
Then
meant
my
sacrificing
parents
everything
handed the
for
deed
them.
of the house I
I
bought
thought
them to
love
my older
required me
brother
to be
Marcus.
endlessly available,
And everything I thought I
financially,
knew about family loyalty.
generous,
I'm
and
Jasmine
emotionally
Reyes, 28 years
responsible
old.
for everyone else's
Until
well-being.
3 months ago, I
That
believed that
sounds
loving your
exhausting,
family meant
Nico
sacrificing
said.
everything for
It
them.
was,
No
but it
questions
was also
asked.
the only way
Then
I knew
my
how to feel
parents handed
valuable.
the deed of the house
If I
I
wasn't
bought them
solving
to my
someone's
older brother
problems,
Marcus.
what was I good for?
And everything I thought I
And
knew
now?
about family loyalty.
Lena asked.
I'm Jasmine Reyes, 28
Now I'm
years
learning
old.
that real love,
Until
the
3
kind
months
that
ago,
actually
I
helps
believed
people,
that loving your
sometimes
family
means
meant
saying no.
sacrificing everything
It means
for them.
letting people
No
experience
questions
consequences so they can
Then
learn
my
and grow.
parents handed the
It
deed of the
means
house
caring
I
about
bought them
someone's
to my older
long-term
brother
well-being
Marcus.
more than their immediate
And
comfort.
everything I thought I knew about
That's a
family
hard
loyalty.
lesson to learn.
I'm Jasmine
Lena
Reyes,
said,
28 years old.
but a necessary
Until
one.
3 months ago,
Marcus
I
is doing
believed
better
that
now
loving your
precisely
family meant
because
sacrificing
I stopped enabling
everything
his
for them.
destructive behavior.
No questions asked.
My parents and I have
Then
a healthier
my
relationship
parents handed the
because
deed
I
of the house I
stopped
bought
being
them
their
to my older
perpetual
brother Marcus.
solution to every
And everything
problem.
I thought I knew about
After
family
Lena
loyalty.
left, Nico
I'm
and I
Jasmine
finished
Reyes,
cleaning up
28
and
years
settled
old.
on the couch with tea.
Until 3 months
Watching
ago,
the sunset
I believed
through
that
my
loving your
east-facing
family meant
windows.
sacrificing
What's
everything
next
for
for
them.
you? He asked.
No questions asked.
Now that you've figured
Then
out the
my
family
parents
situation,
handed the deed of the
I
house
want
I
to
bought
travel.
them to my older brother
really
Marcus.
travel, not just
And
business
everything
trips.
I thought I knew about family
I want to
loyalty.
take that pottery
I'm Jasmine
class
Reyes,
I've been
28
considering
years old.
for 2 years.
Until 3 months
I
ago,
wanna
I
learn to
believed that
speak
loving your
Portuguese
family meant
and
sacrificing
maybe
everything
spend a
for
month
them.
in Lisbon
No
working
questions
remotely.
asked.
Those
Then
all sound
my
wonderful.
parents handed the
What
deed of the
about
house
you?
I bought them to my
Any
older
dreams
brother
you've been
Marcus.
deferring?
And everything
Actually,
I thought I knew about
yes.
family loyalty.
take.
I've been
I'm
thinking
Jasmine
about
Reyes,
writing again.
28 years old.
I used to write poetry
Until 3
before I
months
got
ago,
caught up
I
in
believed that
teaching and
loving
then the
your
bookstore.
family meant
But
sacrificing
lately,
everything for
I've
them.
been feeling the urge
No
to
questions
create
asked.
again. Then
You should
my
do
parents handed the deed
it.
of the house I
Maybe
bought
we
them
could be
to my older
accountability
brother,
partners.
Marcus. You plan your
Everything I thought
Portugal
I knew
trip
about family
I'll
loyalty.
commit to writing for
I'm
an
Jasmine
hour every
Reyes,
morning.
28 years old.
Deal.
Until
As
3
I got
months
ready
ago,
for bed that
I
night,
believed that loving
I thought
your
about how
family
different
meant
my life
sacrificing
looked
everything
compared to
for
a year
them.
ago.
No questions
Then,
asked.
I've been
Then
working
my
80-hour
parents
weeks to
handed the
afford
deed
a
of the
house
house
for
I bought
parents
them to
who
my
would give it
older
away
brother,
without
Marcus.
consulting me. and everything
I'd
I
been
thought
answering
I knew about
crisis
family
calls at all
loyalty,
hours. I'm Jasmine Reyes,
transferring money
28
I
years
couldn't
old.
afford to lose.
Until 3
and
months ago,
measuring
I
my
believed
worth
that
through
loving
my
your family
usefulness to
meant
people who
sacrificing
took my
everything
sacrifices for granted.
No questions asked.
I had a
Then
beautiful
my
apartment
parents
filled
handed
with
the
plants
deed of
and
the
books.
house. I bought them to
and
my older
art.
brother Marcus.
I had a relationship with
and everything
someone
I
who
thought I knew
valued
about
my
family
thoughts and
loyalty.
feelings
I'm Jasmine
as much
Reyes,
as I valued
28
his.
years old.
I had
Until
friendships
3 months
based on
ago, I
mutual
believed that
support
loving
rather
your
than
family meant
one-sided
sacrificing
caretaking.
everything for them.
And most surprisingly, I
questions
had a
asked.
family relationship
Then
that was
my parents
actually
handed
healthy,
the deed of the
not
house.
perfect,
I bought them
but
to my
based
older
on
brother
respect and
Marcus.
boundaries rather than guilt and
everything I thought I
obligation.
knew about
My
family
phone.
loyalty. I'm Jasmine
Buzzed with a
Reyes,
text
28
from
years
Marcus.
old.
Hope you
Until
had a
3
good
months ago,
Thanksgiving.
I believed that loving
Mine
your
was
family meant
really
sacrificing
nice cooked
everything
dinner with
for
my
them.
sponsor
No
and
questions
some
asked.
friends from AA.
Then
Felt good
my
to
parents
contribute
handed
instead
the deed
of
of the
just
house.
showing
I
up and
bought them to
expecting
my
to
older
be
brother
taken
Marcus.
care of.
And
I
everything
smiled
I thought
and
I knew
texted
about
back.
family loyalty.
That
I'm
sounds
Jasmine
perfect.
Reyes, 28
Proud
years
of you.
old.
Thanks.
Until 3 months
And
ago,
Jasmine,
I believed that loving your
thanks for not
family meant
giving up on
sacrificing
me,
everything
even
for
when you
them.
stopped rescuing
No questions
me.
asked.
It took me a while to
Then
understand
my
the
parents
difference.
handed the deed of the house.
Setting
I
my phone
bought them
aside,
to my older brother
I
Marcus.
realized that this was what
and
I'd been
everything I
working
thought I
toward
knew
without
about
family
knowing it a
loyalty.
life. I'm Jasmine
where love
Reyes,
didn't require
28 years
sacrifice.
old.
Where
Until
caring
3
about
months
people
ago,
meant
I
supporting
believed
their
that loving
growth
your family
rather than
meant
enabling their
sacrificing
dysfunction.
everything for them.
Where
No questions
family meant
asked.
mutual respect
Then
rather
my
than
parents
hierarchical
handed the deed of the
obligation.
house. I
It
bought
had
them
taken
to my
losing a
older
house,
brother Marcus.
gaining boundaries,
and everything I
risking
thought
everything
I
I
thought I
family
knew about
loyalty
love to
I'm
get
Jasmine
here.
Reyes,
28
but as I
years
fell
old.
asleep in my own space,
Until 3 months ago,
surrounded by
I believed
evidence
that
of the
loving your
life
family
I'd
meant
chosen for
sacrificing
myself,
everything
I
for
knew
them.
it had been
No
worth
questions
every
asked.
difficult conversation.
Then my
every
parents
moment
handed
of
the
doubt.
deed of the house.
Every
I
time
bought
I'd
them to my
chosen
older
myself
brother
alongside
Marcus.
the people I loved.
And everything I thought I knew
The
about
house
family loyalty
on Maple
I'm
Street
Jasmine
belonged
Reyes,
to Marcus
28
now,
years old.
but the home I
Until
built
3
this
months
apartment,
ago, I believed
this
that loving your
relationship,
family
this
meant
hard-won
sacrificing
sense of
everything for them.
self-respect belonged
No
entirely
questions
to
asked.
me.
Then
for the
my
first time
parents
in my
handed the
adult
deed of
life,
the house.
that
I
felt
bought
like
them
enough.
to my older brother
The
Marcus.
first time I visited the house
and everything
again
I
was
thought I knew about
nearly
family
a year
loyalty.
after the deed
I'm
transfer.
Jasmine Reyes,
It
28
wasn't
years
planned.
old.
I had been
3
driving
months ago,
home from a
I
meeting
believed that
downtown
loving your
when I
family
missed
meant
a turn and found
sacrificing
myself
everything
curving
for
through
them.
old, familiar
No questions
streets.
asked.
Before
Then
I realized
my parents
what I was
handed
doing.
the deed of the
I was
house.
parked
I bought
across
them
from
to
the
my
beige
older
stucco
brother
house
Marcus.
with the red
And
tile
everything I
roof
thought
on
I knew
Maple
about
Street.
family loyalty.
It
I'm
looked
Jasmine
tired
Reyes,
that the garden
28
my
years
father
old.
had once tended
Until
was
3 months
overgrown.
ago, I believed
A
that
rusted
loving your
bike
family
leaned
meant
against the
sacrificing
porch.
everything
The
for them.
curtains
No
in
questions
the living
asked.
room window were drawn.
Then my
but I could
parents
still
handed
make
the
out
deed of
the
the
edge
house.
of the
I
quilt
bought
my
them
mother
to my
had
older
once
brother
proudly
Marcus.
stitched together.
And everything I thought I
The
knew
house
about
hadn't changed
family
much on
loyalty.
the outside.
I'm Jasmine
but I
Reyes,
had.
28 years old.
I didn't get
Until
out of the
3
car.
months ago, I
didn't
believed that
need to.
loving your family meant
Seeing the house from a
sacrificing everything
distance was
for them.
enough to confirm
No questions
something.
asked.
I'd begun to
Then
understand
my
in
parents
therapy
handed the deed of
that
the
home
house.
is not
I bought
built
them
from
to my older
drywall
brother Marcus.
and mortgage payments.
And everything I thought I knew
It's
about
built
family
from
loyalty.
reciprocity,
I'm Jasmine
from being
Reyes,
seen,
28 years
from
old.
love that does not demand
Until 3 months ago,
self-erasure.
I believed
They
that loving
didn't
your
know I
family
was
meant
there.
sacrificing
I
everything
didn't intend
for
to
them.
go inside.
No
Marcus
questions
was
asked.
apparently doing better.
Then my parents
least by the
handed the
latest
deed of the
update.
house. I bought
I
them to
allowed
my older
myself to
brother
hear through
Marcus.
filtered conversation
And everything I
with
thought
my
I knew
father.
about family loyalty.
He was
I'm
still
Jasmine
in therapy,
Reyes, 28 years old.
still attending AA,
Until 3 months ago,
still making
I believed
uneven
that
but
loving your
genuine
family
progress
meant
toward becoming
sacrificing
someone I
everything
didn't
for
have to
them.
rescue anymore.
No questions
I
asked.
believed in change.
Then my parents
just
handed
didn't
the deed of
believe
the
I owed
house.
him
I
my
bought
proximity
them
to
to my
make it
older
happen.
brother Marcus.
When I got
and
back
everything
to
I
my
thought I knew
apartment, the
about
one
family
filled with
loyalty.
light,
I'm
plants,
Jasmine Reyes,
and
28
shelves
years
curated
old.
with intention.
Until 3
I
months
realized
ago,
something
I believed that
important.
loving your family
That
meant
house had once
sacrificing
represented my
everything for
capacity
them.
to love,
No
to
questions
give,
asked.
to build security
Then
from
my
scratch.
parents handed the deed
Now
of the house.
it stood
I
as
bought
a
them
monument
to
to
my
a
older
version
brother
of myself
Marcus.
I no longer
And
needed everything I thought I knew about
letting
family
go wasn't
loyalty.
forgetting.
I'm Jasmine Reyes.
It was
choosing
28 years
myself
old.
over a story
Until
that
3 months ago,
had
I
nearly
believed
written
that
me
loving
out
your
of my
family
own
meant
life. I
sacrificing
lit a
everything
candle
for
on my
them.
windowsill and
No
poured a
questions
glass
asked.
of wine. The
Then,
one my
Mina
parents
and I
handed the deed of the
picked out
house I
during our
bought them to my
celebratory,
older brother
"You were
Marcus.
finally free
And
grocery
everything I
run.
thought I knew about family
I texted
loyalty.
Nico,
I'm
Dinner
Jasmine
at mine
Reyes,
tomorrow?
28 years old, thinking of trying
Until
your
3
mom's
months ago,
lasagna
I
recipe.
believed that loving your
He
family
responded
meant
within
sacrificing
seconds.
everything for them.
Only if I can bring
no questions
dessert
asked.
and kisses. Then
I
my
smiled.
parents handed the
For
deed of the
once,
house I bought
the
them
promise
to my
of tomorrow
older brother
didn't
Marcus.
feel like
something I had to
earn.
earn. Everything I thought I knew
Through
about family
sacrifice.
loyalty.
6
I'm
months
Jasmine
later,
Reyes,
I got a
28
letter. years old.
Not a text,
until
not
3
an
months
email.
ago, I believed
A
that
real
loving
letter,
your family
handwritten
meant
in Marcus's
sacrificing
careful,
everything for
slightly
them.
slanted print.
No questions asked.
Jasmine.
Then
I know
my
I'm
parents
probably the
handed
last
the D of
person
the
you
house
want to
I
hear
bought
from.
them to my
I
older
can't
brother
undo what
Marcus.
I
Took
everything
from
I
you
thought
what
I
we
knew
all
about
did.
family loyalty.
But I'm trying
Jasmine
every day
Reyes
to
to
become
28
someone
years
who
old.
deserves the chances
Until
I've
3
been
months
given.
ago, I believed that
I've been
loving
going
your
to
family meant
meetings,
sacrificing
working with a
everything
sponsor,
for
and
them.
I've paid off 2 months
No
ahead on the
questions
mortgage
asked.
dot. It's still
Then
hard.
my parents
Some
handed the
days
D
I want
of
to
the
fall
house
back
I
into
bought
old
them
habits.
to my older brother Marcus.
But I keep a picture of
and
you
everything
in my
I thought I knew
studio, the
about
one
family
from when you
loyalty.
graduated.
I'm Jasmine Reyes,
and I showed up
years
late,
old.
but still managed
Until
to
3
get
months ago,
blurry
I
photo.
believe that loving your
I
family
keep it there
meant
to remind me of
sacrificing
what
everything
real
for
strength
them.
looks like.
No questions asked.
Not the kind that rescues
Then
everyone.
my parents handed the
The
D
kind
of
that
the
walks
house I
away
bought
to
them
survive.
to my older brother
If you ever
Marcus.
feel ready to talk, not
and everything
about
I
the
thought I
house,
knew about family
not about
loyalty.
the past, just
I'm
the
Jasmine
siblings,
Reyes,
28
like
years
that.
old.
But I'll
Until 3
understand
months
if you
ago,
don't.
I believe
I
that
love
loving
you.
your
Me
family
didn't
meant
write back.
sacrificing everything for them.
Not right away.
No
Instead,
questions asked. I slipped the
Then
letter
my
into the
parents
back
handed
pocket
the
of my
D of the
therapist's
house I
journal
bought
and
them
brought
to
it
my
to my
older
next
brother
session.
Marcus.
Dr.
And everything I
Martinez
thought I
read
knew
it
about
quietly,
family loyalty.
then looked
I'm
up
Jasmine
and said,
Reyes, 28
"How does
years
it
old.
feel to receive a letter
Until 3
like
months
that,
ago,
not as
I
an
believed that
obligation,
loving your
but
family
as a
meant sacrificing
choice?
everything for them?
It felt
No
like
questions
air returning
asked.
to a room I hadn't
Then my
realized was
parents handed the
suffocating.
D of the house
Eventually,
I bought
I
them
did
to my older
respond.
brother Marcus.
I didn't excuse
and
anything.
everything I thought I knew
I
about
didn't
family
rewrite the
loyalty
past to make
I'm
anyone
Jasmine
more
Reyes,
comfortable,
28 years old.
but I acknowledged the
Until
effort.
3 months ago,
I
I
acknowledged
believed
the
that
change.
loving your family meant
And I left the door
sacrificing
cracked,
everything
not
for
wide
them.
open,
No
not
questions
bolted
asked.
shut, but
Then
ajar.
my parents
That
handed the
summer,
D of the house
I
I
traveled
bought
for
them
the
to my
first
older
time
brother
in years
Marcus.
alone on purpose.
And everything I thought I knew
wandered
about
street
family
markets
loyalty.
in Lisbon,
I'm Jasmine
watched
Reyes,
the northern
28 years
lights in
old.
Iceland,
Until
and
3
learned to
months
speak
ago,
just enough
I believed
Italian
that
to
loving
order
your
espresso
family
with
meant
confidence.
sacrificing
I
everything
wrote
for them.
postcards to people
No
who had
questions
stayed.
asked.
Lena,
Then
Nico,
my parents
myself,
handed the D of the
dear
house I bought
Jasmine.
them to my
I wrote
older
on
brother
one.
Marcus.
You are not their
And everything
savior.
I thought I knew about family
You are your own
loyalty.
beginning.
I'm Jasmine
When I
Reyes,
returned,
28
I
years
found
old.
the apartment just
Until
as I
3 months
left it.
ago, I believed that
Peaceful,
loving your
grounded,
family meant
entirely mine.
sacrificing everything for
Nico
them.
was waiting with
No
a
questions
bouquet of
asked.
sunflowers and
Then
a loaf
my
of
parents
sourdough.
handed the D of the
We
house
made dinner
I bought
and
them to my
danced
older
barefoot
brother
in the
Marcus.
kitchen. Later that
And everything
night,
I thought I
as
knew
I
about
sat beneath
family
my
loyalty.
balcony string
I'm Jasmine
lights,
Reyes,
Nico
28
asked,
years old.
"If you could
Until
go
3
back
months
and do it
ago, I
differently,
believed that
would
loving
you
your
still
family
buy them
meant
the house?"
sacrificing everything
I
for
didn't
them.
need to think about
No questions asked.
No.
Then my
But I would
parents
still
handed
love
the
them.
D of the house I bought
just
them
would
to
have
my
loved
older
myself
brother
more
Marcus.
too.
He
And everything
nodded,
I thought I knew about
understanding
family
healing.
loyalty.
I'm
I've
Jasmine
learned
Reyes,
isn't about
28
rewriting
years old.
history.
Until
It's
3 months
about
ago,
reclaiming
I
your
believed
authorship
that
of the
loving your
future.
family meant
And I was
sacrificing
finally ready to write
everything
a
for
story
them.
where I got to
No
live
questions asked.
love fully,
Then
and
my
come home to
parents
myself.
handed the D
Up
of the
next,
house
we
I
have
bought
two
them to
more
my older
incredible
brother
stories
Marcus.
that are waiting for you.
And everything I
Just
thought I
click
knew
the
about family loyalty.
image you want to watch.
I'm Jasmine
and it will
Reyes,
take you
28 years
there.
old.
If you enjoyed
Until
this
3 months
video,
ago,
make sure
I
to
believe that
subscribe.
loving your
It would
family
mean a
meant
lot.
sacrificing